It is. That was a pretty crazy win, not gonna lie. So we were versing really bad players,
Oh,
right?
they were trash. That's one thing. Let's hear another thing about Dota 2.
Oh wait, I want to extend like, I don't think that Ashe character was fun. I don't think she's fun.
That's why she
I don't.
disconnected, right?
Yeah, and I don't think Medusa's that fun either.
Okay.
But I think the character I just played,
She's fun.
Wind Ranger, is fun because her ultimate's really like fun to use. Like, oh, someone to run around. Like, it feels really cool, and she's really fast with her E.
Okay.
So I really like that. So I think I'm going. If I play this game more, which I think I might actually, I'm gonna play
Come
her.
on, man.
We should play
Stop
this
lying.
game more
Stop lying.
together.
Stop. Okay, dude. Okay.
Number two.
Yeah, number 2. Let's hear another thing. Like, just
Number
impressions
two.
or, like, what you think about the game.
I think if do you want me to like compare it to League?
Whatever you want. Like, for you, because it's your first time playing.
I think the game actually looks. The art, I think I might like it more than League.
You actually like the art?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's you.
You don't.
The
You don't like
I
the
think
art?
no, I think the graphics are better, but the art is terrible, in my opinion. Or I don't prefer it. Some of the characters look okay, but some of them just look annoying. Like, look at how ugly Meepo is. Go to Heroes and look up Meepo. Like, tell me you like that.
Well, that's not really the art, right? That's just
Yeah, it
his
is.
character
It's
design.
what do you mean?
They made him ugly. They made him ugly.
I know, but they make a lot of things ugly in this game. I don't know. Okay, so you like the art. You like the art.
No, I don't like the I don't really like the portraits. I also don't like the name.
Okay.
Like Wind Dancer or whatever. Like, I don't. That's not really a name. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, okay, so they're even more confusing because in Dota 1, they had names, and it would be like, okay, for example, like there's a guy named Keeper of the Light, right? In Dota 2, there's a guy named Keeper of the Light. His real name is Izaler, the Keeper of the Light. Does that make sense?
They should name him as Zaylor then.
Yeah, but they don't do that. They just like to be confusing. So, like, Wind Ranger, I don't know her real name, but she has a name, and it's like, that name, the Wind Ranger. That's how they name the characters.
Okay.
So you don't like that. So the third thing is you don't really like how they name these characters, right?
Yeah, because I can't really like have. I feel like I'm not really. They're not really like. I don't really have a connection with them.
Yeah, but also there's another thing I kind of noticed. Like some of them actually do have names. Like Lena. Lena's a name, right? Like you would agree, Lena's a name.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but then some of them.
Meepo's a name.
Yeah, but then like some of them like Venomancer. Like that's not a name. That's like a title.
Yeah, that's just like a.
Half of the a lot of the characters have names, and then half of them are titles. So yeah, I agree. The naming system's a bit messed up. So
it's just
two more
small thing, but it matters a little bit.
Right. So give me 2 more things you were thinking about, or like that came up.
I'm not trying to put my newbiness in part of my opinion too, because I didn't know what was going on. I don't know how to win the game. But you're saying even after hours of playing, like winning the game just it doesn't make sense or something?
To me, it doesn't. To me, it's like we just play. I mean, so I'm in low elo. I'm not high elo, but it feels like every single game we just play for 50 minutes, and then someone randomly wins the team fight, and that's how the game ends. There's like one objective other than golden towers and farm, and that's Roshan. That's the only objective. Other than that, other than like the obvious objectives.
So I guess you really have to win laning phase or something.
It's really just about fighting. I don't know. To me, it still doesn't make sense after 1,000 hours. But
because where are you supposed to fight?
Exactly. You're just supposed to gank and like discover them. It's like has to do with vision. It's like once they're out of position. That's why you have teleport scroll. You can go everywhere. It's supposed to be. It's just like a random deathmatch. That's how I feel about it. That's my opinion on it. But like, sometimes there are strategies to like end the game really fast, and pros use them. And every once in a while, there's like one that's easy enough to use where it's like me and you can use it. But it's like the general game is like we just fight and then push when we kill them. and there's not really too much more to it other than that. That's how I feel about it, at least. It's kind of... I still don't get that part yet.
That very well may be the case. I feel like I have to play to get there, to get that, get more of an opinion myself.
So let's see, let's hear two more things, if you have any, that you think about the game.
Yeah, I think the item UI needs a lot of work,
Oh,
and it's like such a simple fix.
No, I agree. Because, it's really confusing if you go in the item shop. It's like, even if you use the only way you're going to get the items is, 1, use the guide, or 2, I tell you what to buy and you type it up. Like, there's no way you're going to find... Because, like, in League, I'll actually say it's way better in League. Like, if you want ability power item, you can see all the ability power items. Like, do you agree that's better? Because, like, in Dota, because in Dota, it's like... weapons and artifacts. Like, what does it have to do with what I want? You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel too. I'm like, if I'm ever looking for items or if there's like new items, I'm like, okay, I don't understand what category they're in or whatever.
And it's like I have to look up Mango. Like I don't know. I didn't know that existed.
Oh, I mean,
it's not recommending it.
Yeah, like for me, I know the first page is kind of like starting items and laning items, but it's like even then you still kind of want to type it in because like it's not organized. It doesn't say like consumable. You know what I mean? If it said consumables, you'd be like, "Oh, there's some stuff I can use."
Yes.
Yeah, I think they need to do the item shop a little bit better. All right, oh, go ahead.
Oh, just to add, like, I had to think about on my own my final item. It didn't recommend me anything else.
Oh, yeah, the guide is kind of limited
to me. Yeah, in League it recommends you on forever, even if you're full build.
Well, the guide is also like people submit the guide, so there's like 50 guides you can choose from. But the default game guide is like that's the one I think you were on. Yeah. But even then, I think the guide is worse than League's because you're right. League has like the 3 main options you can choose from, and until you're full build, it keeps suggesting. So if you're a noob, it's really
even
helpful.
Past full build.
Yeah, or like you could sell an item or get it something else, you know, something like that. I think you're right about that because like and in like the item shop UI, it's like it's never like changing, so it's like you really have to be like really looking at these like little icons on the, you know, it's all. I think the item shop needs some work. I agree.
I actually have a lot of things to say.
Oh, just keep going then. Keep going.
Okay. So I think
you said you had a bunch of things to say. Oh, maybe it'll come back.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you think about, like, auto-attacking in this game compared to League? Like, which one do you think feels more competitive? Does that make sense? Because, like, in this game, there's, like, the turning lag, like, the turn rate and stuff, and it's like a mechanic that's been in the game since Dota 1, which is on a completely different engine. And that's because it was built into an RTS game. But, like, for League, doesn't it feel like that instantaneous snapping movement and, like, auto-attacking? Doesn't it feel like it's like, I compare, like, Melee to Brawl. Like, League is like Melee. This game's like Brawl. Do you agree or no? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because, like, in League, it's like, I have full control over this character. But in Dota, it's like, oh, I have to, it takes me a second to turn around, and then I have all this, like, minion collision, which is okay, like, you know it's there prior. In League, sometimes it just happens, but I feel like you have more control over the character in League than this game. And then, another thing I don't like at all, which maybe you like, but, when you are mousing over your skills, it has so much extra text. Do you agree on that? Like...
Oh, I didn't look at those.
Just go into, like, just demo Wind Ranger, and then, like, mouse over your ability. There's, like, so much more extra text than I think is needed. Or, like, in League, you can press Shift, and then, you're able to see the extra text and whatnot, but... Oh, I'm surprised you didn't see it, though.
Oh yeah, wind run, move speed bonus.
You see, like, yeah, but you see, like, all this, like, extra stuff. It's like, why do I need to read all that? I just want to read the ability real quick.
Yeah, evasion, I I think they can take that out the game. You're talking about evasion of auto attacks where they inherently miss or not. Is that what evasion is?
Vision. No, I was talking about vision earlier, like map
No,
vision.
like evasion though. That's a stat unique to Dota, right?
Yeah, it actually used to be in League too. Did you know that?
Oh no, I didn't.
Really early. I think season 1 it was in League. They took it out. But yeah.
I think Wind Ranger actually felt a little bit mechanical.
I think when you alt or press E, you have more control over her.
Yeah, so that felt more like League, but the thing is, she's still okay. So I would compare Wind Ranger to Kaisa with her E
Yeah,
and her W.
I can see it.
Yeah, so I felt like I was playing Kaisa because you have to find a moment to press W as well. Same with Kaisa, and you can E around to position, and her E is a speed up invisibility. Same with Kaisa. The
Right.
thing is, I would be pressing buttons way more if I was playing League of Legends, because I'm constantly moving after every autos. And
Right,
this one, it
yeah.
was just like I couldn't.
No, yeah, that's why I feel like the auto-attacking this game's more competitive. Like, I feel like I have more control. Rather than,
Yeah.
like, I just kind of click a spot, and then it's like, oh, no, I think about my next move. It's like, you know, like, you're actually, like, actively doing stuff in League. I mean, maybe it'd be more active once we're, like, really good at this game, or been playing it for years, but... I mean, even now, I've been playing for a little bit, and I still feel the same way. It's like, you know, I'm definitely not clicking as much as I do in League.
I could have more of an opinion. At the end of the game, I felt like team fighting wasn't really an option for us, but it was also a 4v5. So what I tried to do was after clearing the wave, I would E to be invisible to get somewhere that's out of vision and then try to assassinate someone.
Yeah, I
So that was
mean,
kind of fun, but
right. Like, in that aspect, doesn't it kind of feel like Dota 2 is just like... I don't know, like, that makes me feel like it's a deathmatch, doesn't it? Like, in League, there's always some objective. Maybe not, like, super light game and everything's dead, but it's like, this game is fun even without the objectives, or, like, the objectives really make League
oh,
more
I think
competitive.
the objectives are so important.
Yeah, let's say we were playing League right now, but it's the same map as Dota 2. You know what I mean? So same characters, same mechanics, same whatever. But we have the Dota 2 map. Like for me, I feel like having those objectives not only makes the game more fun because it's like your whole team's gonna be there, or like this is like a do or die situation, but it's like it gives the game more like direction, in my opinion. Because a lot of people say they understand like how this game works, but I still don't like I still don't get it. I don't know. I feel like the having no objectives. I kind of want your opinion too. It's like for me, I think the objectives are really good. You say they're important as well, but like, what if we had none? Like the same map as Dota 2, but we're playing League. Like, what do you think about that?
I just think it would be way more boring. And I'm trying to imagine like, let's say bot lane wins their lane.
Yeah, like the only thing we can do from there is pretty much just push or go gank. Right? That's it. That's it. Which is kind of what we do now, but but we're also preparing for like Dragon or like, you know, looking to get Rift Herald or whatever, and like those kinds of things really speed up the game. Those objectives.
Yeah, and depending on how strong the towers are, the game would last forever, and it did last forever in Dota too.
Right,
like without these
that's what I
objectives, it would
think.
last forever.
So also, so I guess the next thing is, what do you think about the laning phase? Because the laning phase in this game is way different. It's like we fight, but it's like there's not really a clear winner on who wins in my opinion. It feels like the laning phase kind of just goes on forever. Because remember when you were Medusa and I just let you sit there and farm? Like that's what you're actually supposed to do. Like if we were playing like high elo, they want the support to leave like level 2, so they can get XP, and then they just farm for like 20 minutes. Yeah. So like, what do you think about the laning?
There should be more interaction with players. I wanted to attack. Like I wanted to interact with the enemy heroes, but I felt like I didn't really have the tools to do so.
Right, I think one of the biggest problems in the laning phase too is like the trees. It's like there's so much invisibility in the lane. You know what I mean? I'm it's so easy to get ganked, and like in League you're watching in bot lane, you're pretty much just watching the enemy the whole time unless they go in the bush. It's like in Dota 2 it's like half the time they're not even in the lane. They're just in the trees or like I don't know. I feel kind of weird when I lane in League. I mean Dota 2, but is that what, like, do you feel the same way, or what did you feel like when we were laning?
For the tree things.
I mean, just like laning in general, because like for me it feels like the trees kind of mess it up, but at the same time they can be cool, whatever. But I don't know. I hate the trees, but I'm curious, like, what do you think about the laning phase? Because it's so different. It's so different in this game.
Yeah, it's really different. I don't think the laning phase is that fun.
No.
I was really only having fun when I was level 28. The fact that you can go up to level 30 is pretty dumb. The fact that the game lasts for 64 minutes is really dumb.
I mean, we could argue that, like, better players could have ended it at 25 minutes, but, like, at the same time, maybe they couldn't. Maybe it'd still be 45 minutes. I do think the game lasts too long. I agree.
Do bad league games, do bronze and iron games last 60 minutes?
No. I would say, like, a long league game is 45 minutes, and then like 1 out of 100 games, it'll be like 60 plus minutes. You know what I mean? Like there'll be Elder twice. Like that rarely happens. Like once Elder happens, it's like usually that's game.
And I think the buyback system they should balance around taking out the buyback system too.
You don't like the buybacks?
No, I don't.
I think the buyback is okay, but since the game lasts so long anyways, they should remove it. So if the game didn't last so long, they could keep it in. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, they can make it better, I guess.
Because there's a lot of characters who kind of like go in, use all their abilities, die, and then buy back and come back in, and that's okay. But I agree with you when it's like the game is already so long, so why make it longer? And that just makes it way longer.
It always felt like we couldn't, like, it was impossible to get a kill during laning phase 2. I don't know if it was because of the heroes we were playing.
We didn't really have any CC. I mean, you were the only CC. Your bottom tower is but yeah, I agree. I think it's mainly because like the lack of vision. Like there's a few characters who can remove trees, and there's items that can remove trees, but it's like, why should I go through all that trouble to make the laning phase like enjoyable? You know what I mean? So I can actually get vision and fight them more. I don't know. It's kind of tough to talk about that one, but I do feel like the laning phase is almost pointless in this game. It's like it doesn't even matter, and then at 15 minutes the game kind of starts to be played. We start fighting more.
The visuals in League of Legends actually has one upside towards Dota, which is that every auto attack looks meaningful. And Dota, the auto attack looks kind of
like it's like part of the background.
Yeah, they look like it's pointless, like auto attacks. It's like you're a minion.
I agree. I mean, for melee characters in League, it's harder to see, but definitely for ranged characters in this game, I agree. It feels like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
In League, it's like you stay out of auto attack range. In this game, it's kind of like, you got auto attacked.
The courier, I was complaining about the courier.
Oh, right.
I think that's because I was really noob about it. I think it's okay, and the secret shop is okay. It's fine.
The secret shop is kind of weird to me. I mean, whatever. I like the courier actually. I wish they had it. If they had it in League, the games would be 5 minutes faster. But it's kind of weird that like we have this courier and everything, but the games are still so long. I mean, that was just a long game because we had a disconnect, and I guess maybe I was just too strong for us to lose. We also had Lich, who was like really tanky and does crazy damage, but I don't know. I think personally they need to make some changes to make the game shorter. Just like for all elo, it shouldn't just be high elo who knows everything about the game. Just shorter, a little bit shorter.
Yeah, and maybe more means of character interaction.
I think that something. I feel like they should just add a couple objectives. So those outpost things. Remember, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get this thing, and then it like I was like, every 10 minutes we get XP. That's like the only objective other than Roshan. Because those things that give vision in the enemy jungle, you can teleport to it. It takes longer to teleport to it. That's like the only objective. That's pretty much it. It's like that thing, towers, gold farming, Roshan, and fighting. Those are the 5 objectives that I can think of. I mean, vision, I guess, but it's like, how's that? I don't know.
I think there's a huge, like, character knowledge difference in this game compared to League.
Okay, that's not true. That's not true. I think it's the same. Like, you have to know,
But Sniper is so different.
There's no Sniper in League. What do you mean?
No, Sniper in Dota is so different.
What do you mean? Different from what?
The thing is, I go into a game, I verse Sniper, I don't expect to get autoed like twice my auto range as playing as a ranged champion.
Like I said, all the characters in this game are extremely broken to some degree.
They're extremely unique. There's a lot of unique champions in League of Legends 2. As a matter of fact, both games, like, if you don't know how the character works, like, it's really, really bad for you if you're firsting it.
Right. Like, if you don't know what Yone does, it feels like he's the most broken character in the game, for example, right? He just destroys you.
But the marksmen's feel different to play. It feels different to play as Jhin compared to playing as Jinx. But it doesn't feel different to play against the Jinx as much as it is to play against the Jhin. Like, playing against the Jinx and a Jhin, the fundamentals are pretty much the same.
Right.
In a range versus range matchup. Playing against a sniper versus like a Wind Ranger or something, whatever it's called. It's so different.
I mean, I guess you could think of it like you just need more skill to know that, but at the same time, it's like oh, my game's glitched out. I was just having fun. But I agree, it's like way different. But at the same time, in Dota 2, there's no set role for these characters. They pretty much just play wherever they want. Like, imagine Jhin being a jungler, a mid laner, a support, a ADC, and a top laner. That's like all the characters in this game. Now, a lot of people prefer characters for a role, but like, I know it can sometimes be like that in League, but it's true in this game. Like, all the characters are pretty much just whatever they want to be, which I think is kind of annoying. But that's kind of more how it is in this game. So like, Sniper is actually a mid laner. He's not really an ADC. That's what a lot of people play. And he can play support. It's really weird.
Yeah, and I don't think Spell Shield and QSS and all that should be like a common thing. That's
you're talking about like you're talking about like Life Stealer or what?
Life Stealer and all the activatable items. Every single item's like a QSS.
No, I agree on that. I think it's too much. I think it should be like heavily nerfed. Like, it can still be in the game, but it should be like you need skill to activate it. Did you like? What do you think about BKB? Like, do you think it was really easy to use or what?
Yeah, BKB was very easy to use.
And the duration is like a very long time. It's not like 2 seconds. It's not like Zhonya's where it takes skill to activate it. You know what I mean? Then it felt like it was like too easy to use that item. It's your third game ever.
I think I don't know if I'm about to sound really bad for saying this, but I think it's actually really, really strong on Wind Ranger because
it's good on everyone. It's actually
you pop in, you go in, and you assassinate someone for free.
No, if I bought it on my character, we would have won the game faster. But I just don't like buying that item. It's not fun for me to buy that item because they could never stun me. I'd just walk in there and kill everyone for free. I should have bought it, but I was like, eh. I just spot like damage and health and stuff.
I feel like it's impossible to have played that game for me if I didn't have that item. Because I
Yeah.
was always getting stunned.
Yep. All the characters are extremely broken, and the way it's balanced, quote unquote, is with broken items. BKB is one of the broken items.
Your bottom tower is under
Yeah, that
attack.
item really feels mandatory. Like, I don't know if I could play the game without that item for how long I was getting stunned for.
I mean, what did you think about like the game? I mean, without my opinion of where I think it's like a deathmatch or whatever, like, what did you think? Like, did you think it was like fun compared to League, or like it was like I'm just trying the game, or I don't really want to play again, or what? What did you think about it? Like
Okay, so
like
my
imagine if you were
overall
playing
feeling,
alone. Like, would you go queue up alone right now, or like what do you like? I don't know.
I
I don't know how to
actually,
ask this.
yes, I would actually play the game again
Okay.
by myself even. I don't know how long that feeling's going to last for because new games are inherently like
Yeah,
generally,
you're like I want to see what it's about.
yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But I would never play that Ash character again. I would never play Medusa again.
Dude, Medusa is actually way better than Wind Ranger. Way
But
better.
she's not that fun. She has two buttons and a toggle.
So, I mean, Wind Ranger has. Oh, I guess she has 4 buttons.
Yeah, Wind Ranger has all her buttons. Also, Wind Ranger, oh, it's really ironic because she really feels like a League of Legends character to me.
Wind Ranger?
Yeah, she really felt more
Yeah,
like the League of Legends character
I mean, I can
because she
see
could move
that.
around more. She had a lot of mobility. Everyone's complaining about mobility in League, but it's actually kind of fun to me, mobility in general.
It depends. I don't like Talon. I mean, if you like Talon, then I don't know. I can't agree, but I don't like when Talon runs away for free every
I
time.
don't. Talon's mobility isn't fun.
No,
It's just hopping walls.
no. Oh yeah, I
Wind
guess what
Ranger's
do you think
ulti was
about
more fun.
Your
what do you think
bottom
about like
tower is under
so
attack.
this game wasn't too crazy. I mean, I guess a little bit, but like what do you think about like the mobility in this game? Like the teleporting, everyone has teleport and all this crazy stuff. Like what do you think about that?
I really didn't feel like I was getting ganked ever.
Nah, our game wasn't too crazy, to be honest with you.
And like it's not we didn't even we received 0 ganks too, right?
I think we had a gank.
From our side. Yeah, there wasn't very many ganks. I felt like it was just you and me that entire time and then like after you left lane and I was still laning. So I was basically farming that entire game until I was level 27. And then before that game, I was just farming and then we lose. Because I was like level 9 the entire time.
Okay, so you would have a big opinion on this game if we could play ranked, because ranked is it's way different than league. But man,
We should.
I guess
I'll get good enough so we can play rank together.
no, it's not even that you have to like level up your account. It's not that
How long does that take?
months.
Really, months?
I don't know. I don't know how fast you can do it. To be honest, maybe it's like there's probably like a time online, like the fastest way. Someone in the chat says it's 100 hours of like straight playing.
Oh, that's them 100 hours. That's about League's time too, isn't it?
No, league is like 20 hours.
From 1 to 30?
Yeah,
No way.
yeah.
Your bottom
The bots can
tower
do it
is
in one
under
day.
attack.
20
Oh.
hours of straight play. It's like 100 hours of straight play in Dota. 100 hour in-game matches. Oh, it's not account level. Oh my, wait. Okay, wait, it's different. You don't level up your account like in League. You have to get 100 hours in matches. You have to play matches. Maybe you can just sit in a
Oh,
wait. Maybe there's a way you can just sit in a bot match for 100 hours. That would be easy. Let me just see.
that's so long. Isn't that worse?
That's way worse. You can't play like a 10-minute bot match and get XP or whatever.
How do they expect people to play their game? New players. They have to have fun in normals.
I guess so.
No one has fun in normals.
I mean,
though.
for League, like I had fun the very first time I had started playing because I'm like, oh, you know, it's fun. And then eventually I got to play ranked, and then it got really fun. But yeah, I think going into the game being like, okay, like, you know, I want to play ranked. It doesn't seem like it's very fun. It's like there's so much you have to do.
I'd rather level up in League right now than in Dota. And not because I find League more fun, because of the requirement is so much shorter. I think that requirement matters, the hour requirements matter a lot. They need to definitely reduce that, because I don't even see it as an option anymore to play the game.
I'm trying to see if you can just let it run or something. Thankfully, there is no such thing. These 100 hours are set to prevent new players from getting into ranked. This is actually a thing. Okay, so I'm sure there's like an AFK program you can just have. Because it doesn't matter if you win or lose, you just need 100 hours. Which is actually maybe worse. In League, it's like you have to level up, and it's like, okay, I'm going to try ARAM, you know, have fun or whatever a little bit, and then grind out some levels, but it used to be levels in this. It's not anymore.
Why were people leveling up too quickly?
No, it's to prevent Smurfs, I guess. Maybe, yeah, maybe they were leveling up too quickly. Maybe there was some exploit or something.
Well, that's really unfortunate, because they kind of, as a new player, that's really unfortunate for me, because that makes me not want to play. I understand that they don't want new players going straight.
Yeah,
into
but
rank.
I think it's too much. Make it like you have to reach level 10 on your account and have 20 hours. Why not that? No Smurf is gonna do that. No Smurf is gonna do that. That's too much time for them. I guess the other thing that I can think of is like, what? Do you have any issues with the UI compared to League, or like the interface at all? Do you find any problems with it, or?
Yeah,
like,
it's awful.
Like, what's awful about it?
The item UI is massively confusing. There's no way in hell.
I mean, like the backpack and stuff, like your skills, backpack, the stats.
Oh, the backpack and the items dropping on the ground. That's so confusing.
That actually is not a thing in League, and I never really like thought about that. Like, I guess I'm used to it now, but yeah, that is kind of strange.
Yeah, sending items to the base. I don't know what that's supposed to accomplish.
Yeah, so you don't like the jungle items. So like,
yeah,
okay.
That's not really an element that's like important, I don't think. It seems kind of unnecessary. I guess it's
to me, I feel like they just added it to add it.
Yeah, it's like an extra thing you can do to spice up the game, but I don't know how impactful it actually is. I think the leveling up system was interesting. I got to such a high level to the point where I started maxing out absolutely everything in my passive.
Oh, the character level?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of how, like, I feel like you should be able to get full build, and then there's like 5 to 10 minutes of strategy. It's like, okay, everyone's full build, like we got to decide, like, you know, what we're doing. But in this game, it's like you reach full build. I mean, I don't know. Maybe like people who are really good at farming reach full build at like 40 minutes. But like we reached full build at like 60 minutes.
At 40 minutes? They hit level 30 at 40 minutes?
I mean, I think top pros probably do, because they farm way better. They hit like all the farm. You know what I mean?
So are you kind of expecting to go to level 30?
I feel like most games you don't really hit level 30. At least like in ranked, you know, we end the game like I'm level like 22 to 22, and it's still like 50 minutes in or something. Depends what position I am, though.
So
I might
like
be a
in
higher level.
League of Legends level 18 is kind of uncommon too, right?
Right. I think most games I end the game, you know, anywhere from like level 10 to 13. Right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Oh,
Like
that's
an
kind of
average.
short.
I mean, like
I'd
as
say
support.
14.
Okay. Like as support, you're like 10 to 13, and an average game, I think. But like that is close. I don't know. I feel like the max level is too high in this game. Do you feel like you just will never reach full build unless you really want to play for a very long time?
Yeah, max level was pretty insane. I think the do you think people hit level 18 more in League than they do hit level 30 in
Oh,
Dota?
for sure. I mean, you hit level 18 at like 44 minutes. Most people, I mean, like the mid laner is level 18 at like 40 minutes. I mean, I feel like it's possible to hit level 30 at 40 minutes, but because you get more XP when you fight. But that's it's just like it doesn't feel very good where it's like we just have to meaninglessly fight to get max level. I don't know. It's like all the fights in, well, usually in a really good match of League, the fights in League are like all purposeful. You know what I mean? It's like we're fighting for this objective or this lane position or something. But in this game, it's like, I don't know. It just comes back to the gameplay for me. Something's off about it. I just don't get it yet.
I'm just trying to imagine the game like for when I get better at the game. It
Right.
almost seems like most of the skill comes in winning your lane and then finding a good time like after shoving it to roam to mid lane or something.
Yeah, it's basically like
So like everyone's a jungler.
there's no jungle position anymore. There actually used to be, and then they've kind of done away with that. There's still like a few characters who can jungle, but it's not really like preferred. And that's another thing, like the positions in this game. Like in League, it's like really concrete. You know what I mean? Like you know what a support is. You know, sometimes you can do off meta stuff. In this game, like everyone can be everything. And I never, even me, 1,000 hours in, you would think I know a little bit, but it's like every time I go to the lane, I don't know which lane anyone's going, except maybe mid lane. Like, do you think that's a good thing? Then there's so much variety, or do you think it's like, because I kind of like a little bit of predictability. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I know this matchup, but in this game, it's kind of like, I don't know. You have to be you have to be so adaptive. Like, imagine in Melee, it's like the moveset's always a little bit different or something, like something really weird. It's like I kind of like in Melee that I know all the characters. Is that just me, or
No, that's definitely not just you.
because like in League I like to know, it's like, okay, Lucian Nami. It's like, okay, we're not fighting that. You know what I mean? It's like, but in this game, it's like I never know who's actually going to the lane anymore, except mid lane maybe, because everyone can go pretty much everywhere. There's no jungler. There's always 2 in each lane, side lane. Sometimes 3.
I actually don't mind that too much.
You don't mind no jungler?
No, I don't mind the fact that everyone can do anything.
Oh, okay.
It's not too bad to me. I think we were still calling out positions though in chat.
Right, yeah.
That needs to be more official.
Yeah. Well, when you play ranked, you queue up for a position, but everything is exactly the same besides that.
Oh, okay.
So like the ban time is like 10 seconds. It's not really obvious, and then you go into picking. It's the same. And usually your team picks in a certain order. It's like, okay, the support's gonna pick, but it's not like in League where it's like, okay, this person picks. It's like anyone on your team can pick at any time. But usually you have supports pick first or whatever.
Losing gold on the timer, I think, is really silly.
No, their pick phase is messed up. It's just like they have a really good ranked pick system, but it's not the official. It's not in the official ranked. and I don't know why. It's called Captain's Pick. If you're ever playing alone, try Captain's Pick. That's the official. That's what they use in tournaments. But they refuse to put that in normal ranked. I'm not sure why.
League of Legends actually doesn't have the official.
Oh, they have a better.
Yeah. It's a little more different and competitive.
I mean, but you would agree that you would agree like the ranked pick and ban phase in like league ranked now is good enough though, right? Like good enough for you.
Oh yeah, I don't even want the official competitive one in current rank.
Yeah, it takes too long. Yeah. Yeah, but like when I play ranked in league, for example, rather than Dota, it's like I feel like I have more than enough time, but it's obvious of like what's going on. I have plenty enough. I mean, I have time to think about the ban. I have time to ask my teammates who to ban. Like that's the thing. You don't have time to ask your teammates who to ban in this. You have 10 seconds. When you get in the lobby, it's 10 seconds right away. In League, you have like 10 seconds before ban starts. And then there's like a sound. Then you know where ban starts. In this game, there's no sound. There's no indicators. It's just like you have to just be paying attention the second you get in.
Yeah, I was running out of time because I thought we were still in banning phase.
Yeah, I remember that.
To lock in Wind Ranger.
I was like, "Don't ban Wind Ranger." You're like, "What?" I'm like, because you were trying to lock it in.
I just it was kind of fun. Wind Ranger was kind of fun, only at level 27. I felt like I couldn't do anything before that. But that might just be because I suck.
It's probably that, but also, Wind Ranger's a character who's supposed... I mean, like, you know her W is, like, super long range. She's just supposed to farm early game. You know what I mean? She's not really a skirmish character.
Oh, okay.
That's why she has that W. She goes mid lane and she farms with W. And then she's level 6 and maybe she gets a kill, but she's usually just farming until she gets a couple items.
Yeah, Wind Ranger is super fun. I think...
I do have another thing I want to ask you. So there was one thing that happened during our final game that was kind of significant. When Drow Ranger abandoned the game, which means basically she just left the game, and she's not coming back. In League, they don't really say that, but it's like... Wait, I think maybe they do, right? It's like after a few... Well, you'll know if you got like an AFK or leaver. Like, you can leave for like 3 minutes and come back and be okay. But if you're like gone for 5, I don't know what the time is, but... Anyways, when she abandoned the game, I was able to control her. What do you think about that?
I think that's kind of dumb.
You think it's dumb?
A little silly.
No, I mean, imagine if you were playing ranked and in League, let's say it's like 20 minutes in, and the jungler, their internet goes out, right? But the jungler is like Sejuani. Wouldn't it, like, what if you could play a Sejuani and your character? Like, what if you could like press F1?
That's insane.
Yeah, that's what was happening.
What if you were like a god? If you had the most godlike amount of APM?
Well, you can't. Yeah, so like the only problem is, I don't know if there is a hotkey to like automatically center camera on the AFK player, because like when I press F1, it goes back to the character that I actually picked. So I there probably is a hotkey, but like, what do you think about that? Like, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing or what? Because like personally, I would be so happy with that in League. Like, imagine if your Aatrox just rage quits and you guys are doing well, but all of a sudden you can pick Aatrox when you're dead. You know, you can go in and fight.
I don't know. I don't really like it because I'm trying to think, like, if you were that good, can you control both of them at the same time?
I mean, I'm sure with like certain keybinds, it could be close to possible, if not possible.
You would have to be the most godlike gamer, right, to control 2 characters at the same time.
It depends what characters too, I guess. Because imagine if it was like Yumi, and you're like you know,
Yumi would be way easier.
Or like Soraka. No, Soraka is really hard to play with just by playing 2 characters. But like, imagine if it was like Karthus. You can just run in there and then take your other character, and then when Karthus dies, you press R, and then you fight with your other character or something like that. Like, so you think it wouldn't be a good thing to have in League? Because I think it's really interesting, and for ranked, like I'd be happy to be able to like still have some sort of chance, but you'd rather have it be like, okay,
I'd rather not have that.
Yeah, so like if you're gonna lose pretty much, you're gonna lose pretty much, rather than okay, there's gonna be a small chance that I have LS on my team and he can play all 5 characters at once, or you know what I mean? So you would rather have it be like how it is now in League, where you can't control.
Yeah, because they have a loss mitigation system from DC.
That's true. Oh, that kind of brings me into another thing. Our first game, we couldn't surrender. What do you think about that? Good or bad?
Why couldn't we surrender?
There's no surrender in this game. I mean, I told them to end, but you can't like instantly end the game.
I think surrender is absolutely mandatory.
Yeah, so they actually have it in the pro matches, just not in casual rank. Yeah, they have it in pro
I think
games.
It's a bad look for pro teams to surrender. It's a bad look on the organization.
Yeah, you'd be surprised when we watch pro Dota 2. So there'll be like a best of 3, right? And they're doing bad one game, so they just surrender the first game. They do it all the time. I don't know how often
really
league
luck.
teams do that. I feel like it's
Never.
really rare. Yeah.
You never surrender in League of Legends, or you're going to get your ass kicked out of the team.
Oh, so that's really interesting because like I usually watch like a little bit of League esports, but I don't really watch Worlds. So you're saying they never surrender?
They never surrender. It's too bad of a look.
Right. No, I agree. I agree with that. But I think it's just like twisted how in Dota 2 like normals and ranked they don't have surrender, but in the pro games they do. And pros use it all the time.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Okay. Yeah.
I also want to talk about why I think no surrender is dumb, because it's not because of the fact that a game is so over and everyone knows it. It's actually not that. I think it's absolutely mandatory for when you're forced to quit the game. Could you imagine at the end of the game that sniper? What if none of them ever attacked the tower? What if they only attacked us in our spawn? That entire time.
And they do that in this game. They like to because they like to fountain dive. The fountain isn't as powerful in this game as it is in League, so it can still kill you and still very powerful. But like if you're a very tanky character, it'll take a minute. It's not 1,000 true damage every second like in League.
So in some cases, you can infinitely make a game last forever if you were really that douchey.
Well, the creeps would eventually do something, but if you like, but in this game you can
hit your creep too, right?
Yeah, but you can't 100 to 0 them. But you can last hit them, yeah. But to add on to that, there's actually characters who can like empower creeps, control creeps, whatever. So maybe there is a way to actually just make the game last forever if you were ahead. So you're kind of right there.
Yes, and also in the case of disconnects is a absolute. I never FF in League of Legends.
Yeah, but if there's like 2 disconnects, yeah, I do too.
You have to. Imagine, FF button is absolutely a mandatory for these cases that could occur. So imagine 4 disconnects. You're the only person left.
Oh, for sure.
And they keep you in your base the entire time instead of playing the game.
Yeah, and then if you leave the game, you get punished.
Yes. So FF is absolutely mandatory. That's a really rare case.
Yeah, no, actually that you put it that way, it's like it's not you're not going to use it very often, but the few times you use it, you have to use it. Otherwise, it's like you're going to waste 40 minutes. Sometimes, you know what I mean?
Potentially longer if you're versing like some crazy evil nerds.
No, I totally agree. But at the same time, somebody from Dota 2 is going to be like, but you can control disconnected characters. And like there's always a chance to come back because of the crazy chaotic nature of this game. Like what would you say to that though?
I would tell them to go get a proof of them 1v5ing. I would need that proof.
Okay, so the only proof, I mean, there's probably more than one character, but like imagine my character. I was pretty much 1v5ing.
That character will be 5?
If I played it right. But at the same time, I may
way higher skill level too.
I mean, that could be possible.
If we can't talk about like skill level.
Yeah, if we were all the same skill level, then maybe I couldn't have done it.
Yes, and if you're talking like, okay, dude, you're so special, you can 1v5.
So there's somebody in my chat.
Not the case for everyone.
There's somebody in my chat who just said, in one tournament, a guy played 2 characters for a whole game and won. So he put. Well, I guess that's not the whole team though. So like in that case, you'd want to forfeit if it's your whole team.
Okay, the thing is, that's such a. So we're keeping in this no FF system because these top godlike players can win with 2 characters. That's like 0.0. You have no FF button because this 0.001% player can do this.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there.
99.99% of the players.
Yeah, what about like, or just have it in normal games? Why not in normal games? Or just like at least one mode. Like for normal games, it's like it doesn't impact our MMR or whatever. So it's like we should be able to forfeit. Like that one game where we wanted to just play again, we should have been able to forfeit. I agree. You know, we were getting stomped. Wasn't too fun. We just wanted them to end. It took them like almost 10 minutes to end.
Because it's very. You should. Your game should revolve around all or most situations, right? So, a person, imagine like, so you're saying there's this insane, you can, like, dude, it doesn't matter because you could be so fucking good that you can control all 4 characters at the same time. You can always come back.
Yeah.
But, dude, I'm fucking trash and I'm versing 5 pro players. What about that situation? You don't think the FF button's necessary for that?
I mean, honestly, my biggest argument is like, why would the pros be able to FF if I can't? Like, and when they're not even supposed to. You know what I mean? Like, why? Why don't we have it?
That's just dirty. That makes me not respect the Dota community. The competitive, the Dota community is, and the competitive integrity is like, it goes into one. So if they're okay with their competition, their competitive teams to be like surrendering, like, I don't really respect that at all. I don't respect the Dota teams.
So so now that you bring that up, I wanted to tell you. So I don't know if you've ever watched like my rants about Dota 2, but there is one thing I guess I wanted to bring up. So if you wanted to play ranked in this game, you know, ranked in League is a big deal, right? Like you hit Diamond 2 or more, it's like you're playing with the top streamers, you're playing with pros, you're playing with people who are going to become pro, you know what I mean? Like you're almost like a few more ranks up and you're playing with pros like all the time. Like, do you agree with that? Like Master Tier, Grandmaster, that's when you're going to start seeing all the top pros. But like Diamond 2 and higher, that's like when you're starting to play with like serious people in the league scene, right?
Yeah.
So in this game, the highest, so like there's like basically it goes all the way until I want to say like Master or Grandmaster in this game, right? And then there's like there's like a top 1000 rank, a top 100 rank, top 10, top 1, and once you get to like the top, I don't know, it's like 4 or 3000, then you're in like this whole different bracket pretty much. But in this game, that the very top bracket, so basically Challenger or Master or Grandmaster, I don't know how it breaks up, but there's more accounts in that rank than the previous 3 or 4 ranks, because people just boost and sell accounts. And it's cheap enough for people to just buy them. So like imagine there's more Challenger players than Grandmaster, Master, Diamond 1, and Diamond 2. Like what do you think about that? Like
I think the system is completely corrupted.
Yeah, I think that just breaks the whole reason to play ranked, to be honest, unless you're a pro player and that's like what you do. But like, since you were bringing up in competitive integrity, I feel like that's just like the biggest no-no. Like, how can that possibly show on a statistics chart? Because like, if you go to League right now, it'll say like Challenger is like way below all the previous ranks. You know what I mean? It's like, that's how it should be, but it's not in this game.
I think that's really bad on who's the creators of Dota.
Valve pretty much just runs it.
I think that's really bad on Valve's end. They're worse than Riot Games in terms of integrity. It makes it completely pointless. It makes talking about bragging about being this high rank. It downplays it more. It has it's less impressive.
Right. I mean, I think like still top 100, which is pretty much Challenger. I think that's impressive. You know, if someone's like, I'm top 100 in Dota 2, that's impressive. But if you're like, I'm immortal, it's like, who cares? You know what I mean? It's like, dude, you could have, like, there's more immortal players than the top 4 ranks or whatever.
They must have a really poor system though. Like, if it's, I thought League smurfing and boosting was a problem.
So yeah, I haven't played enough or like been interested enough to know about Dota 2 boosting. I know it's definitely a thing. There must be a way like they manipulate the MMR, kind of like how people do in League. But just had the other thing I was gonna ask you. Rank system. But yeah, you're right. It totally downplays like the whole purpose of playing ranked. For sure. I mean, there's more to it than the rank system, but that's like the main thing. That's the main thing I think they need to fix. There's a lot of quality of life issues with it, but
what is Valve's reason for not having a FF system? I want to get back on that.
Here, I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
Actually, do I have time to use the bathroom?
Yeah.
Alright.
Why doesn't Dota 2 have a surrender feature in-game? Let's find out. Why no surrender option? Surrender option made me quit the other MOBA. What? I'll wait till he gets back, but this is kind of interesting. It saves everyone time. I don't like the fact it's easier to lose MMR than it is to gain MMR. That's just mad cause bad. Also, pros only. Okay, wait. Before we get into this, someone in the chat said also pros only surrender when it's impossible for them. But like we were just talking earlier, League pros never surrender even if they're gonna lose. Even if they would lose in a rank. I mean, even if they would surrender in a ranked game, it's unprofessional to surrender, right? Like you would agree. Like even if they're like, yeah, we're so down in gold, but like you just have to play. You have to keep trying.
Yes.
Because it's unprofessional surrender. But the Dota pros do it often. Like if we were in League ranked, that's how.
Gross.
Yeah, you see it often. So I looked up. So there's no official statement from Valve, but I do have a thread where we have a couple players talking about it, and one player who's posting about it, he says, "I'll end up in games where it gets to say 10 to 30 at 15 minutes. So like the enemy team has 30 kills, that you have 10." And he's like, "It feels like it's clearly over, but we have to play it out another 20 minutes." While the other team gets enough levels to take our T4 towers and win. So like the 50-minute game, and he's asking why there's no options for surrender. Okay. A few of the responses, the first one is, this is what makes Dota 2. That's okay, I feel like that's not yeah. And the other one says surrender option made me quit the other MOBA, so I'm guessing he's talking about League. I might have one good game and evening of playing. Rest of the games ended in a surrender vote. And I guess someone who's kind of playing off of that says, if you had the surrender option, you would never have good games because the ones you were winning would end in a vote and not by playing. So he's saying like you would never have comebacks, but I disagree with that.
Wait, before you... actually, yes. can we go on? Can I talk about that?
Yeah.
Before we continue, I just want to let everyone know, me and Bruno play League of Legends with the surrender option. We never forfeit anyways.
Oh,
Even
I
with that
always say
surrender
no. I
option.
always say no.
We always say no.
I would say 1 out of 100 games I say yes.
We literally are if we're not this guy who wants to FF when a game's totally over. We know when the game's over, but we're still not going to forfeit. It is
Yeah.
dirty as fuck that these Dota 2 competitive teams are forfeiting.
So I will
don't
say
respect that at all.
I only surrender if I have like 2 or more AFKs, like DCs. That's about the only time, and
Yes.
and that's rare.
And that is why the forfeit option is mandatory.
Right.
We don't abuse the forfeit option at all, but we still find it to be mandatory.
Okay, wait. Let's be honest. How many games, like in the last year? Because for me, I can count them. How many times have you actually? No. Like, how many times have you had a game where you're in the game and you want to keep playing, but all 4 people say yes? It's happened to me maybe twice. Like it's people because I think a lot of people in the Dota community think it's a common thing. You know what I mean? It's happened to me like 2 or 3 times where I'm like, okay, let's keep playing, but they all say yes.
The thing is, I don't blame these people for thinking we have the same opinion as most of these people who actually forfeit League of Legends games.
Right.
That's a lot of the people. Everyone thinks FF is an option because a game they perceive to be over and not comebackable.
Right.
And that's why they FF.
But
that's not.
But I mean, for like, just to put in perspective, because you've had, I mean, like, I don't think I've ever played a game where I accidentally ran into you. So we've obviously played different matches. Like, how many times has that happened where it's like the game is not clearly over, but everyone said yes, except you, and then it became a forfeit? Like, how many times has that happened to you? Because I think that's one of the main reasons why people don't want the surrender in this game. Because they're like, if they have it in Dota 2, that's going to happen all the time. I feel like that's one of the main reasons.
That's fair, but that doesn't that is not enough to.
No, I know, but like how many times do you think that's happened to you? Like recently?
Very rare.
Yeah, so like
yeah,
like for me, in the last like 4 months it's happened once. Like I remember I was like, "Oh, why are we doing this?" And I got mad. But it's one game in 4 months.
There's a lot of people like the odds of having one more person of saying no is actually kind of high. As long as you always say no, then yes,
right.
It's not going to be like that. If you say no, like the odds are pretty high to have one more person to say no.
And a lot of people, so like I think a lot of people in Dota 2, they think of League as like, I mean, League can be a toxic game, but they think of like, you know, the Tyler 1 personality, because he's not actually that toxic, but he, you know, if he messes up, he'll try to forfeit. You know what I mean? Like, to be funny. And people think that that's seriously how it goes. But every time people are going to say no.
Yeah.
I think
it's funny to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it can be kind of funny, but like for people who play League, we understand that they're not actually giving up. It's just like they're trying to tell the team they messed up. That's kind of more of like what's going on. So if we had the same exact surrender in Dota 2, I think it's a good thing. Like, you can't deny that it's not a good thing. So another, I guess we kind of covered it, but there's another comment that says why there's no surrender option, because comebacks exist. Now, I kind of feel like in Dota 2, it's a little bit different than League of Legends, because like the buyback, the BKB, all this crazy stuff. Like, what do you have to say to that? Like, you think, like, what if in Dota 2 they had limited surrender? So, like, you could surrender, or vote to surrender X amount of times a week. Like, do you think it should be like that, or do you think it should be the same as League?
I think it should be the same as League, because I think this is completely off the reason why FF should be an option.
Right. Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I really don't care that you can come back. The thing is, like, you can't come back. Let's say everyone thinks they're good, right? And then everyone thinks everyone brings up this option that you can be this really top player did it, so you can. It's like, dude, what if you burst that top player and 4 of your teammates DC, and then that top player has teammates and then they keep your ass in base the entire time for 3 hours. The FF option needs to be there for cases like these very rare cases. And that case is pretty extreme, but even in the case of 2 AFKs, that's enough for me to FF.
Right, and one big problem in Dota 2 is since there's no surrender feature, there's this guy talking right now. He's like, some people just say GG and then AFK, and that's a common thing in Dota 2 because there's no punishment for because like you'll still get a loss. You know what I mean? Like
that's
if you
huge.
no yeah,
That's
like
huge.
if you think you're gonna get a loss, like you can get reported, but usually these reports don't really do like if it's like whatever. Let's say you're a top like high elo player and you're just tilted and you just FF in the base. I mean, if you just AFK in the base and you haven't done it in like 2 weeks, you're not going to be negatively affected. You're just going to take the loss.
You're telling me these same people that are saying to not have a surrender vote are AFKing?
Yeah, so like they instead of surrender, they just AFK.
That doesn't sound much better.
No, I think it's worse. I think it's worse because the structures in Dota 2 are harder to kill anyways. So even if you told them to end, like it might take 5 minutes of them actively trying to end. You know what I mean? It's not going to take like 2 minutes like it would take in League. Like it's going to take 5 to 10 minutes because they need enough creeps and they need to be able to kill these towers that are tanky.
If they took out the surrender option in League of Legends, it would look exactly like that. People AFKing in the base.
It would be way worse. I think in League, I would be scared to play half the time. Because I don't want that. That's like the absolute worst scenario. You have an AFK the whole game. You know, it's like we're not gonna win, but we can't not AFK because we'll get punished. It's actually worse in League if that would happen.
So, I want to respond to the Rise Games in Twitch chat. He's saying, don't surrender. You can always come back. The thing is, we know that. As League players with the surrender option,
oh, for sure,
we don't ever surrender. Like we already stated that.
Right.
We never surrender even with the surrender option. And I already said it multiple times, but the surrender option still needs to be there for very niche cases.
And I would say, like, when you're playing with friends, you actually prefer the surrender option. Like, let's say you want to play a different character. You know what I mean? It's like, let's just surrender and go to the next game. It's a normal game. You know, like, wouldn't you agree that's also a good... Like, wouldn't you agree that's a good reason to have the surrender option? Like, let's say I'm playing with people who are new, and we're like, oh, I didn't get the right character or something. Oh, we can just surrender. You know, it's okay.
That's fair.
Yeah. Like, especially in normal games. At least have it in normal games, at the very least. Like, I can kind of respect some of their opinions when they're like, oh, we can come back, or like, I don't want people giving up, like, whatever, but if you're not going to have it in ranked at all, at least have it in normals. I feel like there's more surrendering in normals.
And it's like, I want to get back to when people say something like, well, this guy can do it, so you can too. It's like, you're kind of not looking at it from an objective point of view. You must really have a big-ass ego to think you're that good and that much better than everyone else.
I will say one thing about the Dota 2 community, they all think they're, like, savants of gaming.
You guys are actually fucking crazy if you think you're the best all the time. You're going to verse people that will slap the shit out of you too.
I mean, imagine just like being low. Like, imagine you playing ranked right now and you just fight like a booster, and then you're like, okay, let's just go to the next game, because my team AFK'd or whatever. I don't know, but I can agree. It's like, what if you're playing against someone who is that good and then you're not, and everyone gives up on your team? Then yeah, you want to surrender. Pro games? Okay, wait. Yeah, there's another post I want to read. So this is going to sound weird. He says, this is from 3 years ago. Pro games always forfeit, so why don't we have the option in ranked games? Seems very ironic and hypocritical that the best players of this very competitive game can just GG when they want and move on to the next game. But in normal ranked, you need to sit through 20 minutes or more of losing, complaining, and wasting time when the match is clearly over. Yeah, that kind of just sums it up right there. Like, he's also giving an example. I was in a game with an 0-11, one person that left, and a 20-kill lead on the enemy team in 20 minutes. Given the other factors, if one of your teammates leaves, then you should be not forced to play out the match, especially with some insane lead. I agree. I feel like they should just enable the surrender option, like to be an option you can pick if someone leaves. Like it should just pop up. Like if you want to surrender.
Sure.
Yeah, that should be the very least. And then there's other people who are saying like, if you want to surrender, stop Dota, uninstall, and play other MOBA that have surrender option.
These people, like, they don't understand, like, not everyone is like these people who want to forfeit because they died twice in lane. That's what they think the League community is, right?
Right.
It's people who want to surrender because they died twice in lane.
I mean, I think the surrender option for League kind of upholds its competitive integrity. You know, it's like a quality of life feature that you just have to have.
Yes.
Because like, why would like anyone who is like diamond or a streamer or like really high elo, why the heck would they continue to play when people could just hold them hostage for 50 minutes? You know what I mean? Like, that's gonna happen all the time if there's no surrender. There's so many people out, like, especially if it's a streamer. Like, imagine all the times Tyler 1 would get held hostage. Every single game, probably, that he's about to lose. They would just do something dumb and never end the game. And just shout out their Twitch or something. Or, like, demand that he shouts out the Twitch, and like, then they'll end the game. Like, I can just imagine it now. Like, I'm sure it happens in Dota too, but I don't know, it just doesn't come up.
If someone was griefing Tyler 1 in my game, I still wouldn't forfeit it, even if you wanted to.
No, yeah. I mean, like, if he leaves the game, that's different. But if we're still playing the game and he's trying and he's not inting, or, like, running it down or whatever, I would still play. Like, I don't think he ever really ints or anything anymore. Like, dude, we're just gonna keep playing. Nah, I disagree. You queue up for a game, you queue up for the duration of the game. Wanting for it to end sooner is selfish. Yeah, but you have to think about it like, if you're playing the game to rank up, it's supposed to be selfish, right? I don't care if my teammates rank up, I'm trying to rank up. But if you're queued up with somebody, you're both trying to rank up, right? Like, you guys are trying to rank up. You're using the people in your ranked game to rank up. They're not your friends, they're not your enemies, they're your enemies or your teammates. Right? It's like the surrender option is mandatory. That's how I feel.
Okay, I think my opinion is a little different. I am down to play out the duration of the game. I don't know how many times I can say this, because Riz Games seems to think we like constantly surrender.
Yeah, no. I just gotta say again, it's like even if I'm there's so many games in League where, let's say 12 minutes in, we're getting stomped. But I know for a fact we can still win. And even though my team is crying and trying to forfeit, I always say no. Like, it happens all the time. And then you still win the game. I queue up for the full duration. I only forfeit if people leave. I'm not playing a full duration game with 3 versus 5. Like, literally, 3 versus 5. I'm not doing that. You know, I'd rather log off and take a punishment if I have to. If I can't surrender. It doesn't make sense.
The surrender option, the thing is, I will, even with the surrender option, I still never forfeit. I'm in it for the whole game. Unless one of these rare cases happen, such as 4 of my teammates disconnecting and I'm getting spawn killed in the base. Then yes, I will forfeit that.
Also, imagine like this scenario. It's like you get in a game, and you can queue up as 3 in Dota 2. I think you can in Flexed queue as well. Like, let's pretend you can queue up as 5 in League. So I think you can queue up as 3 in League and Dota 2. Let's imagine it's a group of 3, and you're a streamer, and so they decide, because we're losing the game, they want to be toxic, and there's no surrender feature, so, like, or there is a surrender feature, or something, and then 2 of them leave, and then every time you try to surrender, the one guy says no, and then the other 2 are just watching the stream, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way you can surrender or something. Or, I don't know what I was getting to, but, like, that kind of situation, like, you want to be able to surrender. Like, if they're trying to hold you hostage.
Also the thing where, people are AFKing, right?
Right.
The thing is, the leaving the game without any abandoning, without any LP, that doesn't matter because people don't want to get hit with the punishment of leaving a game, right? So that they AFK. So the thing is, 4 people leaving the game and 4 people AFKing is the same thing. If 4 people AFK, I am forfeiting that too.
So let me just read off the Dota 2 AFK punishment. Basically, there's no like obvious punishment system in Dota 2. It's based off your what's it called? It's based off your conduct score, I guess you could say. So like if you get honored, your conduct score goes up. If you get reported, it goes down. And then eventually, if you get reported enough times or like do bad stuff, abandon games, you get into something called low priority. Basically, it's like a corrective system. You have to play like, it's not even ranked. You have to play like these terrible normal games, and it's like you can only pick 3 characters. You have to play so many to get out, basically. And that's I think it's a good punishment. But at the same time, it's like, because like in League, if you AFK, that's a big problem, even once. You know, I think you can do it once, but if you do it twice, what happens? You get like reduced MMR for each win for a couple games. And I think if you AFK like 3 or 4 times, you can't play for like weeks at a time. You can't log in for weeks. You're banned for weeks. Right? I think it's like 2 weeks if you keep AFKing like that. In Dota 2, I'm not sure how many times the conduct summary viewable in game will provide a history of behaviors associated with low priority over a span of the previous 15 games. So so you have to have like 8 reportable games out of 15, I guess. So you can AFK for like 5 games and be fine in Dota 2. Is what I'm trying to get at, I guess.
That's a lot.
No, yeah.
How do they know if you AFK? Couldn't you just move around in your spawn?
You could do that. You could get reported, and that'll eventually lower your conduct score. But you could just like imagine if you were some toxic guy or whatever. You could just have like your friend in the game, and then just they honor you every game. Or I don't know. There's probably a way around it. But yeah, like I mean, I feel like the 15 game span thing is so huge because so many people AFK. Because there's no surrender option. Like, I feel like that's part of it. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a surrender option, we just get it over with. But people don't want to sit through that, so they AFK. Because they're going to get a loss anyway.
It sounds really hypocritical to say not to have a forfeit button if you're the ones that AFK too.
Right. Yeah, like, your response to no surrender is just to AFK yourself. Because someone disconnected. Like, that's the only way. You just log out of the game. There's Overwatch system, it can even ban your account for years. Well, yeah, but if you only AFK once, you can't get reported for that. There's no punishment. There's no punishment for AFKing once.
Is all of this really better than not having a forfeit system?
Yeah, we wouldn't even need, like, half of this if there was, surrender. Yes, you can. Low prior is rough. I've never been in it, but I've helped people out of it. Those games are rough. If they leave game for more than 5 minutes, you can abandon without any loss. Okay, so that's still not any better, though. Imagine in League, like, you have to wait 5 minutes and then you can leave for free. I don't think that's a good substitute. It's just like, 10 seconds after. Okay, guys, let's just surrender. He's not coming back. Or whatever. I feel like that's the right thing to do. Just have the surrender option.
And I just want to ask a question to chat real quick.
Yeah.
What would you want to do if 4 of your teammates AFK in the beginning of the game? They didn't leave. They're AFKing, running in circles at the spawn. And you're by yourself. And then the 5 enemy team, they got so strong. They're killing you in your base. They never have to go back to base to get health for our mana. And they're just constantly killing you in your base and they're not trying to win.
Yeah, that's the situation.
What would you do?
And let's just imagine you picked a character that can 1v5 if you had farm. But obviously... Wait, let me clarify. Alright, let's see what they say. TP into their jungle and farm till game ends honestly. That never happened to me. Oh, okay, so... Basically he's saying I would let them end.
How long would it last if they did that?
If they don't get XP for 3-4 minutes, they will abandon by default.
Don't they get
Let's just
XP
say they went to the edge of the base and got XP every 3 minutes. Right? Like they're actively griefing. I would dagger in trees, they would get bored. You're wasting your own time though.
This seems like a lot.
Like why are you playing like why are you the people who are griefing your game are obviously trying to get a reaction out of you. Why would you let them do that? That's just like playing that's just like helping them. So your teammates have AFK'd and the enemy team decides to hunt you instead of finish the game. Yes. My response, give a real world situation. That doesn't happen. But what if it
did happen in League though? It did happen in League before.
Honestly, I've had not like that bad, but in League people do sometimes just give up in AFK in the base because they're, you know, having a bad day or something. It does happen. Played 5k hours, never happened. Honestly,
okay, so my situation is very extreme, but I think you guys get what I mean. Like situations like those where it's like you have multiple AFKs and then you have people who don't want to end the game.
Also, I will say like sometimes you get into a League game and you'll think that there's someone good on your team. Like let's say you're, you know, like gold elo or platinum elo, and there's like these people on your team with like 80+% win rate, and you're like, okay, we're gonna have a good game. But like for some reason, like it's happened to me before, like for some reason there's a duo and they're just intentionally trying to lose the game, so they only buy like ruby crystal and they just run it down, and then they leave the game at 22 minutes. Like you guys wouldn't want to surrender, you'd rather play it out. Like imagine in Dota 2 there's these two Smurfs, and you think, okay, we're gonna play pretty well. You know, like I'm ready to win. They seem like they're good, but then they're having fun together. I don't know why they want to lose, but let's say they just buy a whole bunch of. Let's say they buy 6 boots. They buy 6 boots and they just go mid and they just stand there. You guys want to play that out? You don't want to surrender? You guys,
it's very fair to give the FF option to people who want to surrender something.
I mean, I think the duo situation is more common than what you said. I see griefing duo all the time. I mean, not all the time, but like more common than like 3 people leaving. The grief
my situation was extreme, but I'm saying the FF button would still be mandatory for like niche cases like.
Okay, but let's reply to this. If you Overwatch them, so like basically, I don't know if you played Counter-Strike, but Overwatch is like, if you report somebody, then a real player will watch it, and then based on their decision, the player gets a punishment. So it's a decent system sometimes. I mean, not everyone does it, so there's a lot of unopened cases. But if you Overwatch them, they are sure to get bans for months or even for years. Yeah, but if they're Smurfs, why would they care? They have like 10 accounts. Ban 8 of their accounts. Who cares?
I don't know what Overwatch is. Not the.
It's like no. So it's like, let's say I report somebody. That if somebody is eligible to do Overwatch, basically on their like home page, they can like click download Overwatch case, and then they review the game. So like I'm a player reviewing the game, and then I can decide if the player is guilty or not, or hacking or whatever. Usually it's for hacking or griefing. In CSGO it's more common because you can be like, oh, because people will get reported for cheating, and you'd be like, are they actually cheating or not? And then they get some sort of punishment. But the problem with Overwatch is that a lot of people don't care. Not everyone's gonna do Overwatch. Like if I'm eligible for Overwatch, I'd just play the game. You know what I mean? When Overwatch first came out in CSGO, I did it a few times, but I've never done it since, and I've been playing CSGO since it came out. But like I said, telephones. What would you say to me if I said these Smurfs who are griefing, duo griefing, they have 10 accounts and they're just having fun, they're just laughing, and you can't surrender. They're just making you sit there for 30 extra minutes. Who cares if their account gets permanently banned or banned for years? Like, what's that gonna do? I mean, I doubt anyone is gonna run it down so hard that they're gonna get permanently banned on their main account. Like, I doubt people are gonna do that. Yeah. That's why these Smurfs duo and they have extra accounts so they can have fun and try to D rank. I think D ranking is more common than people think. Like, people do it all the time. So it's like, what do you do in that situation? I'd rather just forfeit. Like, these people are not trying to win. We can't win. It's 3v5.
I don't know how fast I would forfeit it. I might give it some.
I mean, like, I would play, but it's like, eventually you'd want the option to forfeit, right?
I think it's really, really fair to give the option to forfeit.
Right.
Very fair.
I mean, I feel like there's almost no reason not to have forfeit. Because, like, I mean, I can imagine if it's like 1 or 2 people say yes to forfeit, then it goes through. But if it's like 4 or 5 people that have to say yes to forfeit, how is that not fair? There needs to be a forfeit system in Dota. Okay, we have a Dota player that agrees. Smurfs have to have 110 hours to play ranked. Okay, let me show you something real quick.
I just need to remind everyone again, me and Bruno agree on the mentality of not forfeiting.
Okay, let me see. If I was a Dota 2 Smurf, and I look up buy Dota 2 account, let's just see. So for around $40, which is actually a lot, I can get an account that's already ranked. Let me just see. Unranked. I'm just curious on the price. But basically, you can just play. Okay, maybe it's a little bit more pricey. So basically, $5 for a fresh account, which is still kind of pricey, but $5, and you can play ranked. So if it was some Smurf, I'm sure he already knows about that. I mean, $5 isn't a lot of money. $50 for 10 accounts. Maybe there's a cheaper way. Not exactly sure, but you get the idea. Like, it's not that hard to get past this detection. It said it has 6,000 hours of game time on there. So there's like this bot or something that's been playing for 6,000 hours. How would they get banned by Smurf detection? You can get overwatched, yeah, but like they can just buy another account. They're not always going to get overwatched. Like I said, Overwatch, the problem with it is that you don't get any rewards from it other than like the satisfaction of banning a cheater or something. And like for CSGO, I've been playing CSGO since it came out. I've done 3 Overwatch cases. Overwatch just came out, I want to see what it was. Then I never did it again. So like, why do you think that's the best way to deal with these people who are griefing? Because there's no forfeit system, and you can't get out. So
well, what's better, a forfeit system or an just AFKing? How about that? What does Twitch chat think of that? Forfeit system or just AFKing?
There is an AFK system, yeah, but if we look at the low priority, you need a span of you need to have a majority or at least like 5 bad games in 15 games. So you need to AFK multiple times. You could AFK, play like 3 games AFK, play like 3 games AFK. If everyone keeps honoring you, you can just keep AFKing. So there's not really a set in stone AFK system. If you go AFK, let's just see League's AFK. League AFK
Couldn't you just
system.
Run around in a circle though and not get AFK detected?
Yeah, you could. I mean, if you were griefing, you could just, like I said, go to the edge of the base, get XP, AFK, run around in circles, get XP, run around in circles. Tackling AFKs. I'm just curious to compare. Okay. So your very first offense, there's no punishment, which makes sense, right? And then your first offense, if you AFK, is you have to wait 5 extra minutes to queue up for 5 games. If you do it again, 10 minutes for 5 games. 3 times 15 minutes for 5 games. I mean, like, this isn't very... I'm pretty sure you get LP loss, too. So you're losing MMR, too. This isn't just that. But if you do it, like, 4 times... And this is within a span of, This is like a... Like, this doesn't get reset very often, right? I think it's like... I wish they would say, but I want to say, like, you can't do this... You can't AFK more than, like, twice per month. Unless you want to get punished. But, like, let's say you AFK'd 4 times in a month. You would be banned for a day. And then you have to wait 15 minutes every time you want to queue up for 5 games. And you're accumulating losses. You're not just AFKing and getting this, you're accumulating losses too. So you're losing MMR. If the account was played on IP across countries, suddenly you start owning, it might be red flag for your account and puts you in Smurf pool. You can't AFK in Dota. There's review replay and you get low priority. Also, you don't get XP in Dota from AFK. No, that's what I'm saying. You go to the edge of the base, get a little bit XP and run back.
Did we not just AFK? Did our team not just AFK that one time? When we played against Sniper? Didn't our entire team AFK?
Oh yeah, our team was AFK the normal game. I doubt they got in trouble. But what I was going to say, there's something he said, if the account was played across IP across countries, that's why you use the VPN. If it's that big of a problem in Dota 2, it's not that hard to use a VPN. Why do you think Smurfs exist? If there was no Smurfs in Dota 2, there would be no problem. They obviously exist. There's boosting and smurfing and account buying, account selling. There's ways around it.
I also gotta say that game we played where I was playing Ash versus Sniper, I never gave up that game, and I was down 11. I was down 11 levels. 11 levels.
Right. The only reason we wanted to give up was because people were sitting in the fountain, and we were like, we want to play the next game. It wasn't like, and it was a normal game. It wasn't for any MMR or anything.
I felt like the FF system is necessary because the Sniper just killed us all in the base, right? Couldn't he have done that? Like
that is true. Actually, he was killing us in the fountain.
He could have done that for like 10 to 20 more minutes. The thing is, I was still trying to play, but it seems like the players in our team already gave up. They were already AFK too.
And to add on to that, it's a normal game. It's not a ranked game. There's no reward for sticking through it, other than like XP that's meaningless on the account. Smurf exists for many reasons. There's low player base and higher tier. Yeah, okay, but we're saying, like, if there's Smurf griefers, because people are trying to... I mean, if you go on YouTube for any game, there's people who, like, you know, Iron to Challenger. They obviously D-rank the account or bought an Iron account. People D-rank accounts all the time. So if there's Smurfs that exist, there's probably going to be a few of them that want to D-rank. So why wouldn't you be able to surrender? If you have D-ranking Smurfs and someone AFKs, and obviously you can't win. If someone leaves and 2 people don't want to play, like, how would you not want to surrender there? You have to understand it's not always AFK. Most times its players disconnect and the hero automatically returns to the fountain until reconnect. But I guess another thing to add on to that, which you didn't really experience, is in Dota 2 you can pause the game, right? But every player gets a pause. And the pause cooldown is 5 minutes per player. So you can just imagine how bad that would be. So someone disconnects, they have internet problems, or they abandon or something, and everyone on the team can pause for 60 seconds. Or something like that. I can't remember how long the pause is. But it's like everyone has a pause cooldown of 5 minutes. So then you can pause again. You can pause multiple times per game. So it can just drag on and on if you have griefers. They can just pause.
Also, if we're trying to talk about an objective, fair system, and it sounds like Valve didn't make a forfeit system because of the community, right? I didn't get any information of why Valve, the company, didn't add a forfeit system. It's because they the community is split, right?
Yeah, the only answer I've ever found on okay, so there is a Steam community post, and I'm gonna go ahead and open that now. But I did only find a Reddit post. That's the top post. There is no like direct statement
There's
from
no
Valve.
response from Valve.
No, this seems to be huge oversight, to be honest. So one guy, yeah, he agrees. Solution: abandon the game.
So, okay, wait. To add on that, it seems like Valve doesn't feel the need to add a surrender option because half the community thinks there shouldn't be one, half the community thinks there should be one in the Dota community.
Okay,
right?
so yeah, but now we have. So this is like, I think this is someone who kind of represents the Dota community. I'm gonna read this off. He says, "You just gotta learn to take your losses like a man. I know it's a waste of time fighting and losing a fight, but dang, when I'm winning, I love to stomp my enemies until I can smell the salt in the air. Just imagining if they surrendered before I get to have that salt. That's no fun. Kill them at the fountain until the creeps push the tower. Slow and painful defeat. I've seen some kiddos even leave the game at that point, just couldn't take the humiliation. I've also had that happen to me, but it's part of the game. Normally,
my situation did happen.
Yeah, normally I don't do this, but when I get arrogant attitude from enemy like easy or question mark, I'm just gonna make sure to stomp them enough to break their will and motivation to go to next game. See, I feel like this is not a very competitive person. To me, I just want to end the game and go to the next game. I mean, sure, if you're playing against friends, sure, it's funny, whatever, but I feel like this is just, I mean, like, if this is a good representative of the Dota 2 community, I feel like it's just a bunch of casuals playing the game.
The thing is, we have to think from an objective point of view as a community, right? Not from our own opinion. What would be fair as a community for a forfeit system if half the people want forfeit and half the people don't? I feel like League actually has currently the better solution, which is a voting system. Because the majority, it's only 2 votes to say no. So if half the community is split, then the Riot Games gave the option to the community on whether to forfeit or not.
So wait, let's look at someone in the chat just said, I played with concede option and without, so he's played League and Dota, and he prefers no concede option. And he says, there's just so many scenarios where the game is winnable, and if there was a concede button, people would give up because it's easier. That's not true. Unless you're playing, I mean, if it's a competitive game, people are going to try to win. They want to gain the MMR. So he's actually saying it played Heroes in New Worth, not League. And they had surrender in there.
The problem with the forfeit system is that sometimes you don't want to FF, but the rest of your four teammates do.
And like we just said, to me, it's probably happened like 3 times in the last year. And I play every day. Like, it's rare. If it requires 4 or more people to say yes, it's fair.
And it's not fair for our opinion to take over the people.
We're saying it's rare for that situation to happen where they would rather surrender than play the game because they're just not feeling it or whatever. Because like there's 3 times in the last year, there's been games where I still want to play and I think we can still win, but they all surrender. It's only happened 3 times, and I play ranked every day. At least like once a day. And it's very, very rare. It almost never happens. To me, happens all the time. Are you playing ranked? Because if you're playing even in normal, people are only gonna say yes in normal if you're like, hey, I really gotta go or something. I don't want the punishment.
Wait, you said it happens from all the time in Dota. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you can't surrender in Dota.
People give
no. We're saying like the actual surrender, like the game will end. People give up, yeah. People give up all the time, but they still play in League. They surrender in League, but we say no, and then we win. Somehow we win sometimes. Sometimes we lose. But we're saying to have the actual option to surrender is important.
And even like we're in the side of the opinion of never surrendering. So
yeah, like we never use surrender, but we need it in the game.
Yeah, but I also want to add, is it really fair for our opinion to matter more than the opinions of people who think who want to surrender? That's why I think the voting system's better than the no system.
And then somebody in chat says, I think you type GG and people know. Okay, but that's still 20 minutes away. You can just AFK and run around the base, but it's still 20 minutes away, so you might as well just play. That's what we're saying. Like, even if you have disconnects, it's still gonna take like 20 minutes to end sometimes. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. The game needs to just instantly end. If you have AFKs, or like the rare situation where you have like 2 AFKs and then 2 people griefing or whatever. Even the people even the people griefing want to lose, so they'll surrender. So if you have 2 disconnects and 2 people griefing and you can't surrender, it's like, dude, you have to keep playing, otherwise you're going to take an AFK punishment. It doesn't make sense. Like, if there's no way to win, you can't 1v5, you're not Faker, you're not No-Tail.
And you're not bursting trash.
Yeah, what's the reasoning to not have the surrender feature? Yeah, I agree. When you have griefs in DC, that's enough for a forfeit. Okay, I agree with that. If one guy hard disconnects, people can leave. Yeah, but that's not good enough. You have to wait 5 minutes for that to happen.
Ooh, and in Dota, we could have left.
If they like the Drill Ranger game, because he abandoned. Not sitting in the bait. They have to abandoned. So if they AFK for, I don't know how long. The thing is,
didn't we play that game out and win?
Yeah, well, that one I knew we could have won. That one was different.
I wanted to just continue playing that game because I was having fun.
No, yeah. I'm just saying, like, if someone disconnects your bin, you have to wait like 5 minutes, or like the thing is they have to AFK for 5 minutes to become abandoned. That's what it is. So if they're griefing, they can grief for 5 minutes and do nothing instead of whatever.
It's like, the thing is, I think we're a little off topic because that situation, is the FF button really necessary? I think most of us in chat would agree that we wouldn't have really surrendered that in that situation.
Right. I mean, the game where the guy actually left and we could have left.
Yeah.
I mean, that one's different. No, that one's different because like we were still playing it. We were like, whatever.
Yeah. So their current system of one person disconnecting and everyone else leaving, it doesn't cover the situations that a forfeit button can.
Yeah. There's definitely some situations left out for sure. I think so. But wait, let's think about that a little bit, because like, which situations does it not cover?
So, they have.
Oh wait, actually, no, you're right, because in League, you could not do that without getting punishment. If everyone wanted to surrender or something, like someone's having a big internet issue, or the game is like really over, everyone's dead, like yeah, you can't just AFK and then everyone leave, because you're gonna get a big punishment.
Okay, so I want to respond to Scenaris. I think the League's FF system isn't perfect. I think there should be an option to auto vote no in the options.
Or just disable it from popping up.
Yeah, disable it from popping up and auto vote no. That should be an option as well.
So wait, another thing.
Not perfect, but it's still better.
So something we were talking about earlier that he wasn't here for is okay, wait, I got it. So a lot of people in League, like you'll see Tyler 1 all the time. When he messes up, he calls a forfeit vote to be funny. Like, it's just like part of our culture, I guess. It's like, okay, dude, I want to get out. Like, I want to get out, but you're actually still trying to win. It's like we all know we're gonna not forfeit, but we call the vote to be funny. Or like sometimes it's like I miss one skill shot, I try to forfeit. You know what I mean? It's like that, but it's not actually forfeit. We're not actually giving up. So when you say they're calling it 24/7, that could be why. You know what I mean? It's not an actual surrender. So that it's kind of confusing if you're not from League. You're like, why are these people already giving up? But it's like it's more like a joke, I guess. That if you're saying they forfeit 24/7. Yep, and no auto vote, no disable for voting yet. That should be in League. What if people did vote yes for troll? So like I said, In the past year, that's happened 2 or 3 times. Out of like 2,000 games. 2,000, 3,000 games. It's very rare. And it's not even like troll, it's like everyone just kind of gives up. And honestly, I'm shocked when it happens. The only time I'm not shocked is if I have like a duo grief and everyone is trying to get out. Even then, I'm still trying to play the game, and I usually say no. But only 3 times or 2 or 3 times I've been actually like, okay, I wanted to keep playing what happened. It's not common. It's not common at all. That's the issue. It becomes a voting game and not a MOBA game. How is that even? There is conduct summary behavior score. You AFK grief feed account buying reported in any kind of way. Also includes smurfing. Will reduce that score. Low score will cause you. Yeah, but that's not a perfect system at all.
Is that to compensate for the forfeit system or something? Do people?
No,
I
but
feel
like think about it.
2 different subjects here.
No, the conduct summary behavior is not enough to not have a surrender button. You can get around this behavior score. You can just so you can like grief one game, like heavily grief, AFK the whole game, whatever. I don't care what you do, and not get an abandon, but just grief the whole game. And then for the next 2 games, you play with 4 friends, and they all honor you, so your behavior score is fixed. Like, why would you? What? Like, what's stopping you? What's stopping it? Who cares if you get reported? It's not good enough to replace the forfeit system. Or like a... Oh, because the AFKing. He's saying there's a punishment to the AFKing. So you can't just Well, that just makes it worse, because you can't AFK then. You can't just, like, leave the game if you can't forfeit.
If you can't... That means people just play but don't try, right? At that point?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you had the disconnects, you would just have to run around in base so you don't develop a... You'd have to get XP every 3 minutes and just run around so you don't get an AFK punishment until the game ends.
I think it's good that people going AFK is getting punished.
No, but we're saying, like, if you like, imagine the situation where you want to forfeit in Dota 2. You tell the enemy team, I give up. But you can't surrender. You can't blow up your ancient nexus. And so the only reasonable thing, other than taking a automatic loss, because, like, let's say 4 people on your team are griefing. They're not disconnecting, so you can't leave, right? You can't leave for free, but they're making you stay. So you have to, every 3 minutes, you have to go get XP, and you have to wait for the enemy team to end. Otherwise, you're going to get punished, right? That's when you want to forfeit. Let's say they are all 4D ranking, right? Let's say this extreme situation. Nobody disconnects, but nobody's playing the game. Like, they're just, from the start, they're like, we're going to lose this game. They all buy 6 boots. So you want to surrender. They want to surrender, but you can't. You have to play for 50 minutes.
I want to talk about another situation that actually just happened. Our game versus the sniper.
Wait, real quick before you do that. You can commend friends 1 time. Yeah, but imagine if you're friends with Smurfs. They're going to have 5 different accounts. You can just keep commending and getting past the AFK punishment. But you can go ahead now.
Okay, so in our situation, imagine if they were nice enough to end the game for us, right? What if it's not like we had AFKs, right? We got destroyed to the point where they can farm us in the base. What if they decided not to end the game there and just farm us for 20 more minutes?
Yeah, I mean, that's his first time playing the game too. It's like, dude, I'm just trying to, like, show him the game. We're just trying to try it.
That's something I would. That's an if I was that sniper, I might do that. I might just farm people in the base.
I mean, I feel like, yeah, like, having that in the, I mean, I know what you mean. It's like, why should that even be an option? It's like, Just get us out of the game. It's like, I don't want to be farmed for 20 minutes.
Yeah, you need to think about the people that aren't really having fun at that point. They're not
Especially
really
since our whole team was kind of on the verge of like, okay, we lost the game, you know, we tried, but we'd like them to end the game. Like, our team was okay with it. We're like, that's the situation where we'd all surrender. We'd be like, okay, we tried. Let's just move on to the next game. But instead, we have to wait for 15 minutes from the.
If we're talking about efficient ways to learn, that's probably one of the least efficient ways to learn how
yeah,
to play the game.
how is me like just getting spawn killed a way to learn?
Literally spawn killed. You can't press a single ability.
I mean that I was legit IO, who gives like healing, regeneration, and stuff. I was attached to him, and we were getting both spawn killed. So, and we're in the fountain. We weren't learning anything.
I didn't have a chance to fight back.
I mean, I didn't learn anything.
I'm just saying, what if they were like that guy in the Steam post where they just did that for 20 more minutes?
No, yeah. I mean, they could have. If they really wanted to. They could have went past the towers and just sat there. If you didn't learn how those heroes work. But how's that even learning? I can learn how the heroes work by just going to the hero tab. I can just go to the hero tab and click a hero. Doesn't matter. There's better ways to learn how they work.
Isn't the best way to learn how to come back in that situation to learn how to not be put in the situation of being 11 levels down in the first place?
Yeah, it's like,
That's
let's
the
go.
best way to learn it.
I mean, even if you didn't want to play the next game, it's like you can go review the VOD. You know what I mean? You have more time to go review it. But and all the time you're getting spawn killed, you could have already reviewed what went wrong during the game. You know what I mean?
The thing is, guys, we were versing Sniper. Was he even getting hit by the fountain? Any towers?
No, he was out of the range.
Yeah, he wasn't getting hit by any towers and one-shotting us in our fountain.
I mean, I could go back and show you, but I'm just gonna avoid that. But his attack range is so long that he's not in danger of getting hit by the fountain. So theoretically, he could have just farmed all of us. He actually was farming us until the game ended.
It was to the point of NBA professionals versus 4-year-olds at that point.
I mean, we weren't even playing.
I was trying, but they could have tortured my ass for 20 more minutes if they wanted
to. I mean, like, even if we were trying, we weren't even playing anymore. Like, that's how bad it was. Because you were trying to leave. You were trying to leave the fountain, but he was just killing you before you can even get out.
Yeah, I couldn't even get into range to throw out an ability to hit.
You'd be surprised how you can come back in those situations. How, if we can't leave the base? We can't reach them, and it doesn't make sense. We couldn't leave the base, and no one in our team could leave the base.
I don't think he watched our game.
Yeah, you didn't watch it. So basically, imagine like right here where I'm pinging is where we're at, and I'm where Sniper's at. He's able to, with his items and abilities, he's able to just shoot us, and he's such a higher level that he's able to kill us
instantly.
Yeah, I mean, like, he was like three-shotting us. Everyone was just dead. Like, we can't do anything. Even in the fountain, where we're supposed to get heal, you know? It's just like, that's where we need to surrender.
Yeah, and it's to the point where, like, I don't think we could have even TP'd out, right? He would kill us within the TP time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, he would kill us in 2-3 hits. We were just so far behind.
It's impossible for us to ever get XP.
Yeah, I mean, the only way we get XP is if it got to the point where we had no towers and they had the creeps close enough to the fountain. But
yeah, and I want to say I was still trying to win after I got spawn killed, but they ended the game before.
No, I mean, he was spawn killing us before that was before they even killed all our towers. You know, he went behind the towers. So like we couldn't have gotten XP for a long time. But your safest game to leave, no? No.
No, no one left that
No,
game.
all 5 of us were in there. We were just
He
waiting.
was killing all 5 of us in base.
No, yeah, everyone on that team was just waiting for the game to end. Yeah. Even pro teams fountain farm. Yeah, but like I feel like the competitive aspect of part of the team, it's like so skewed. Like how can they forfeit and why are they fountain farming? I mean, whatever. To prove a point, I guess they'd probably do it in league sometimes, but like they have like 2 really bad manners. Forfeiting and fountain farming is like a common thing.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's not a
Because
good look.
like imagine
It's
if you're
really
playing
immature.
No, like imagine playing like for your life. Like that's basically what you're doing in these games. It's like wouldn't you rather just end the game as efficiently as possible? Who cares about like creating a statement? Create the statement on Twitter after the game. Be like, that was easy. You know what I mean? You don't need to be doing it in the game, trying to show off, giving them a chance. Like you wouldn't do that if you actually cared, right? You would never do that.
It's disgusting how it's accepted in esports and not accepted in actual sports. Could you imagine if a soccer team was so much better than the other team? They were just passing it around in their.
Oh.
I don't know much about soccer, but you know what I mean. They find a way to BM the shit out of them.
Yeah.
How bad would that look?
I mean,
The
I
crowd would be
gotta
booing
say
them.
like a little bit of BM is okay. Like sure, it's funny or whatever, and maybe the team really
Yeah.
is better, but like it gets to a point where it's like it's not professional anymore, and it's not a good look. Fountain farming is, I think, past it. You know, like a troll build is like enough. Troll build or all chat is enough. And then like the Twitter post, whatever afterwards, whatever's not in the game, that's fair play. But it's like the fountain farming and the forfeiting is like it's not a good look. It's not professional in the game. Like if the pros can forfeit, like why can't the players too?
Yeah, that's lame. Imagine if a basketball team forfeited.
No, but like especially like they're not even supposed to forfeit in pro games, and they do it all the time. But the players cannot even forfeit. It's like if they wouldn't put the forfeit option in a pro game if there wasn't a good reason. So like, why is it not in the normal game? There's obviously a reason why they would have it in the professional game. You know what I mean? Like there's a specific like tournament ranked or captain's mode that they use for the tournaments, and it features the forfeit option. Like, so if it's that important, why would we not have it in the game?
Yeah, that makes absolutely no sense. But the thing is, I'd rather them not forfeit in competitive. That's just way worse than not having a forfeit system.
No, I mean like I think forfeit is a very rare situation to ever happen. But to not have the option to forfeit is unacceptable. Like I don't ever forfeit in League. Like you said, we never forfeit.
I think a forfeit button with 5 accepted is a good start.
Yeah, at least. Sure, there's gonna every once in a while you have the one guy who never wants to, but
It's a good start.
yeah, there's so many situations where you'd want to. Or like when those
Also,
situations happen, you don't want to play. Like there's no reason to play, or the only option is to take the AFK and get a punishment.
also like I'm mega garbage at the game, right? And we were playing against people that were like worse than me potentially, right? On the last game. So, could you imagine if we were both pro, Dota pros, and we played in that same exact game? Couldn't we have really made the game extremely torturous and unfun for the enemy team and picked like sniper and farm them in the base for. I just want to keep iterating that point. Like it seems really easy to do in that game.
Yeah, no,
If we
there's
were smurfing.
I mean like Zeus can do it too. There's like items and abilities that increase like spell range, attack range. I mean, there's multiple characters who can do that. Pretty sure. Or at
And we
least
should give the
like
people the right to forfeit those.
and even characters who don't have enough range, they might be be so ahead and tanky enough that they can just stand in the fountain. Like there's a lot of characters because it's like physical damage, and you can just have enough armor to negate like 80% of it. You know what I mean? You can just sit in the fountain for a while, then come out when the whole team's dead. It's not a big deal. Every character is overpowered. Let's see. Your team is losing in Fountain Farm. Get creative by 4 staff. Why? What if you can't? What if you get killed in 2 hits? You can't even do anything. And let's say you did that. What makes you think that when they're this far ahead that they are not going to be tanky enough to withstand the fountain? By the time they can just wipe out the like sniper is probably tanky enough to kill me and him and still get out just alive. He probably has a hurricane pike. He has enough gold. Like, he's not going to not buy anything. Think about it. There's a way for him to get out, even if we get him in the fountain.
If top players really wanted to fuck up some noobs, they easily can, right? And like really mess with
So you
them.
can't stand in the fountain for more than 10 seconds. That's plenty of time to get out. Especially when you one-shot the enemies. You just farm. You can stand in there. A sniper can stand in there and farm us one shot. It's not a big deal.
Wait, I feel like the forfeit system is way more necessary in Dota than in League, from the sounds of it.
I think with this fountain farming for sure.
Yeah, fountain farm sounds insane. You can, as a matter of fact, take out the forfeit button in League of Legends and move it to Dota. How about that? Dota needs it way more.
I mean, so I'm gonna wrap this up. I think that there's a handful of Dota people who say yes. I think we definitely need the forfeit system, and I think they're right. I mean, honestly, I mean, like the game is so much longer, and there's so much more reason to need the forfeit system than League. Because, like I said, we never forfeit in League. There's very rare times when we forfeit in League, but I can see it happening more in Dota 2. You know, and they try to prolong, like, they try to, like, compensate. All the compensation they've done is not enough. The pausing is not enough. The minimal AFK punishment is not enough. You know, they're trying to be like, oh, you can AFK, it's fine. You can disconnect, it's fine. Like, no, it's not enough. Like, you're still going to take a loss. And
Wait, I'm confused how fountain farming is not exaggerated, or is exaggerated. Like, it literally happened to us, right?
No, and somebody in the chat was saying that pros even do it. Like, if it's common in pro games, it's more common in casual games.
They're saying it's a rare case, but that was literally my first game I got fountain farmed.
It's not. Pros don't fountain farm. I can actually pull it up. Someone in the chat said even pros do it.
This guy's saying it's not rare.
No,
people are saying it's rare, and other people are saying it's not rare. Like, which one is it?
No, because they want to retract their statement.
Oh, we were getting destroyed. We were getting stomped really hard.
I mean, from the Dota 2 games I played, I think it's common. It's not every game, but it's common here. It's definitely more common than.
WWology says, "Are you sure you're not being stomped very hard?" Like, what the fuck? Of course we're being stomped really hard.
But why do you let them farm fountain when you can GG out?
How do you GG out?
Like forfeit, they mean. So the pros are gonna fountain farm now. Oh yeah, look, they're just sitting in the fountain farming them.
Wait, Bruno, before you wrap it up, do you want to do a poll in Twitch chat?
Oh.
Who thinks there should be a FF button? Who thinks there shouldn't be?
Alright, let's do that.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
And then put a third option, FF button with a 5/5, 5 out of 5.
Okay. Let's see what you guys say in the chat. We'll make this the final. That's a good idea. So what do you want the options to be? Surrender same as League?
Yeah, same as League, no, 5 out of 5. Or I guess we could just do yes or no, but I don't know.
With only 5 yes. All right, go ahead and vote on this, guys. Let's see. What is leagues? Before 15 minutes, it's everyone has to say 5. If someone disconnects with before 3 minutes, so if they're AFK before 3 minutes, it's everyone, just like 2 people have, I think it's like 1 person has to say yes, or 2 people have to say yes, and then it automatically closes the game. I think it's similar to Dota in that regards, but after 20 minutes, only 4 out of 5 people have to say yes to forfeit. I guess that's the controversial part that people think is controversial in this game. Plus, it's fountain farming in true sense. It's strategy to kill you in fountain so you can't defend. It's not really professional, though. Okay, I'm gonna give it a few minutes. You can farm for longer than 5 min.
Five minutes of fountain farming sounds like a long time too.
Alright. People are saying to never give up.
I'm down for that. Except Dota might be a little. I really think Dota's worse than League.
I'm voting.
I'm not voting.
Oh, I shouldn't have voted. Let's see, show results. Surrender. Oh, I'm the only person who says surrender option same as League. Everyone says, well, the majority say surrender with only 5 yes.
5.
That's okay. But at the same time, I don't know, if you're gonna get griefed, there's no way out. Same in League, like if you have a duo grief who is not letting the game end, that happens, but I feel like the only reason I think the option in League is better, what if you have the DC? You have to have 5 yes. Or like I guess it would be altered, but
the
like,
thing is,
go ahead.
I just want to put in real quick. I kind of like the 5 yes for League as well.
Oh.
Just cause I think League isn't that bad compared to Dota in terms of like really making it brutal for the enemy team. I don't know.
Oh,
I
you
think
mean
there
like
should
for
be
fountain? Yeah, there's not really fountain farming in League.
Yeah, fountain farming's insane.
No, it's so because in the fountain in League will instantly kill pretty much anyone.
So I fountain farmed a couple of times, multiple times now, because I find it fun in League of Legends as Lux. The thing is, her ult cooldown's not long enough to constantly do that.
Oh, I mean, her range is insane though. You cannot go in the
Yeah.
fountain in League and live for more than like 1
Yeah.
second.
Yes.
Because it
So
does.
it's not nearly as bad as Dota.
Yeah, because imagine in Dota where the tower does 1,000 pure damage like every half second. That's what it is in League. So it does 1,000 true damage every half second. So it's like you're in there for 3 seconds. It does 10,000 damage. No one can survive. In Dota 2, the fountain does specifically, I think, physical damage. So a lot of people can sit in there for a while.
So I think there's a lot of people in chat saying like if you're just you can't be so garbage to the point where you're getting fountain farmed.
Well, number one reason why not to have surrender button is there's too many games in Dota where you can come back and play from behind. And you would lose option to practice playing from behind, lose option to win, lose option to come back. Yeah, but what about the
What about if it's 5 yes? What about it's 5 yes and you can vote no, right?
Yeah. What's the problem with that? You can just say no.
If it's 5 yeses, you can vote no.
Yeah. And then what about the one situation where everyone's AFK and you want to get out, but
I think we should stop using that one because people are like,
yeah. But I mean like think about or just like the same surrender option as League, like everyone's griefing or like they give up. Everyone gives up and we all want to go in. Like remember the first game me and you played? Everyone wants to give up. Or like I don't know. Like one person wants to keep playing. Yeah, we all want to give up, but one person wants to keep playing, and we can't win. I don't know, man. It's hard to think, but like, there's a few situations where you actually want forfeit.
No, the league one versus the 5 yeses is that's up for debate. It's really hard to say for me personally.
I mean, I just think of like you've definitely had players who are griefing in your game,
Yes.
and let's say like the other 4 give up, but the 5th guy is a hostage keeper. So if everyone had to say yes, and he just wants to ruin your day, you can't get out. That's my argument. I've had people like that.
Yeah. Also, like, if someone, what if? Never mind.
What?
I was going to say, what if someone's like really harassing you and you don't want to play the game with that person anymore? But we have like a system for toxicity already. So
There is like you can also mute, but like in Steam, it's worse. They can go to your profile, they can find your information, whatever you have there. They can harass. Like imagine if someone wanted to harass me, they can have my YouTube, my Twitter, everything linked. So I'd have to ban them multiple times on different websites. Mute private profile. Yeah, but you don't do that if you're a content creator. I guess that's a little bit different, but go to
yeah,
like
no,
even
like I
even
said,
even CS:GO pros, their profile is usually not private, so they can like prove that they're the CS:GO pro. You know what I mean? Like it'll be like, "Oh, here's my whatever, my Twitch link." You know, a lot of pros do that. It's not private. Report them on Steam. I've never had to do that. Yeah, but even if I report on Steam, I have to go block them on Twitch. I have to go block them on Twitter. I have to go block them on Discord, etc. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I really don't want to play with them, then they have time to like go to my profile and everything because we're stuck in the game. I guess that's a really rare situation, but I'm sure it's happened. Like imagine if I was a girl streamer and it's some creepy guy, you know? I'm sure that's happened more than what I just said.
yeah, gotta think about those females getting creeped up on. It's probably a common
I feel
case.
like it's more common than me getting harassed, like as bad as I just said.
For the record, my vote probably would have been put in the surrender with only 5 yeses, because
Okay.
as a starting, you know, to introduce the forfeit system, it's a pretty big thing to introduce into a game. So to ease it in, I would do that to start, and then maybe change it to maybe more something like League is doing.
I mean, we don't. I mean, like honestly, I'm kind of like ignoring. So he's saying we had a game where we were in base for 30 minutes. We were not giving up and not pushing, and one player backdoored and got 3 lane tower. Like in that situation where your whole team is trying, no one's gonna surrender. We're not saying like if you had the surrender option, your game is gonna end and you wouldn't have won that. You know what I mean? Everyone has to say yes, or like majority has to say yes. If you guys are trying to win, what's the point? Like the surrender option doesn't have anything to do with that. You know what I mean? They're saying like if the surrender option's in the game, those comebacks would never happen. That's not true.
Yeah, especially since you could vote no and someone else could vote no
They would
too.
surrender for sure in all those games where you backdoor throned and all comeback games. They would all surrender. How would you know that?
Is Han? Could the Han
Wait.
commander be
Let's
really
look back
okay?
though. He said we had a game where we're in base, um, and we were giving up and not pushing. I mean, if you were truly giving up, people would leave. Someone would have left, and you would have all left the game. Obviously, if they don't leave, that's not giving up. Giving up is
Kind of
like,
having
and
trouble.
also think about this: like, if you weren't actually giving up, how is the game not ending? You would just sit in the fountain and die. You know what I mean? Someone was obviously trying to win, so the surrender would have never went through, right? There's no way you could have won if everyone gave up. If everyone gave up, no one's casting spells, no one's doing anything. You're just kind of like auto attacking and dying, right? I can't be the only one who thinks that.
That's moving pretty fast, honestly. It's kind of hard to keep up.
No, but he's saying like the game was going on for a long time. and they kind of gave up and they were just sitting in the base farming. But if you actually gave up and you wanted to lose, you wouldn't farm, you wouldn't push, you wouldn't cast any spells. You would just kind of like stand there and sell your items and die because you can't surrender, right? Am I crazy to think that? And no one on your team would, if everyone on your team was doing the same thing, no one would get reported. There would be no punishment. And if you were truly trying to lose, like if everyone gave up and they were truly like ready to lose and go on to the next game, that's the only time the surrender would be in effect. Otherwise, like, the game would go on. That's why you won, right? You kept playing. The game went on for 1 hour, 20 minutes. Okay, well, if you guys were actually trying to lose, you would have lost. You wouldn't have won.
Damn! How did the game last an hour 20 minutes?
Because, no, games last like 2 hours in Dota sometimes because the game's dumb.
That's crazy.
There's buyback, there's no objectives. What do you expect? This is a deathmatch. My longest game is like, I think, an hour and a half.
So I think I feel like Coffee and WOlogy are bringing up good points about the psychology of the surrender button appearing. So I think
one tilt spams surrender
they should
buttons.
make it
The other
better.
4 who really want to win will be demoralized.
Yeah, so
I mean, but does that
our option of hiding it, right?
Yeah,
They
but
could make it better.
but like think even if you couldn't hide it, does that outweigh the benefits of surrender? I don't think so.
No, probably not.
That's
Not
the. I mean, one person tilting is the same as someone typing like "You guys all suck. I'm just gonna lose the game," right? That's this. It's actually
Yeah.
like it's actually work. Like just remove typing then. Remove all communication.
Yeah, it's a good point.
The games are long because people do not know how to finish games. That's why esports games are competitive 40-minute average. That's still very long for a MOBA, I think. That's why you have mute. It doesn't change anything though. You can still tip, you can still do toxic things that you can't mute. I think you can mute pings, but I mean still, it's like, dude. The spamming surrender thing, you can mute the surrender option. How about that? You can mute that. That cancels it out. Like people typing is worse than spamming surrender. If someone is not typing and using surrender, yeah, it's annoying because I know they give up, but it's like it's worse if they're spamming something toxic or they're like, I don't know, whatever, they're making fun of your win rate on a character or something, for example, whatever. Like that is worse than them pressing surrender for mental. That's when you understand how to synergize your items and get overpowered. Surrender option definitely wouldn't hurt, but it definitely has to be unanimous. Yeah, exactly.
Guys, I think I learned more from the level 27 game than I did from my level 9 game, by the way.
Wait, so what does that have to what does that have to do?
Oh, someone was saying something in chat about learning. I'm trying to listen to you and read chat at the same time.
Wait, so even people who tilt still be forced to play the game. And more often than not, even when they're tilting, the game is still winnable. Yeah, we're saying we don't forfeit, even though we can. That doesn't have to do anything with the surrender option. In League, all the time, people give up and then they cast the surrender option. They die once and they cast the surrender option. No, and then everyone in the game says no. And then we win the game. It happens all the time. I mean, that does not like, that happening is not as bad as not having the surrender option. Surrender option is like, you need it. I mean, like, okay, just tell me why in pro games they're allowed to surrender, but we can't in game. Like, why is it so important for them to include it in pro games if we can't do it in game? Like, there's obviously an important reason why they would have it in there, even though they're professional. Like, they're not supposed to surrender, but they do it all the time. There's obviously an important reason why they can and we can't. I don't get it.
It must be because they think the pro players have more credibility.
Because they actually know when the game is
actually
lost. Yeah, but it's not good for their like we said, it's not a professional thing to do.
Yes, really bad luck.
I mean, as players who play the game, we should know when the game's over too when we have 3 disconnects and we have to sit there for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Why can't we surrender when we have 3 disconnects? It's like chess. You know when the game is lost, so you FF. Yeah, look, why?
Bruno doesn't FF in chess, even though he should.
I haven't played in a minute. If you have a disconnect, it's 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes is still not like acceptable though. Why? Because if I AFK, in 3 minutes I become an AFK. So I have to sit there for 5 minutes. And then people can pause and delay it. You know what I mean? It's not acceptable. Surrenders are literally like 20 seconds before the game is gonna end. Yeah, that's true. Like, I mean, I would say 90% of my surrenders in League are like, we're all dead and they're hitting the base, you know, and we just surrender. You know, like there's actually no way to win the game. You know, like, wouldn't you agree? Like, if you actually surrender, that's the situation like you just described. Surrenders are like, everyone's dead for 40 seconds, but they're about to hit the Nexus. You know, and someone just cast the vote, and we all just say yes because it's over. Actually,
I usually say no in that because it's about to end anyway.
I usually don't even vote, and I just Alt F4. That's when Dota pros surrender. No, they surrender like middle. They surrender when they're like it's not even. They still have structures and stuff. They surrender like just to surrender. I've seen it. Maybe they know it's over, but why can't we surrender when we know it's over? You know, it looks way different. Like when you watch them, they'll have like all their tier 4s still, and they surrender because they know the gold lead is so massive or whatever. But so then how come we can't surrender? I don't get that. No, they don't. I've reacted to multiple pro sets. I've seen it before. I mean, like, you can probably find a bunch of sets where they surrender. Like game 1, they surrender game 1 often. If they're losing hard, they surrender game 1 often so they can regroup and like think about it. I mean, like, whatever. They shouldn't surrender as pros anyway. Because like you said, they have more time to learn if they keep playing, but they do, it's common. So why can't we do it in the game of Dota 2 if the Dota 2 pros, who are the most competitive players, can do it? Like, no one's telling me why.
Don't think there's a good reason.
Alright, wait, we're gonna be, there's, so like, the International in Dota 2 is similar to Worlds, and we're gonna be, someone is gonna post a comment from someone who won the International about the surrender option. So we're gonna see what he says. He's a Dota 2 pro, we're gonna see what he says. But I feel like this is biased because he can actually use it. But I want to read the comment.
Okay.
That's legit reason.
Put it on the screen.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for this.
Can you link me that straw poll, by the way? Or hit refresh. I want to. Does it still? Can it still take votes?
I'll just put it in again. I think it just got killed in the chat. People stopped voting.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
I just posted it again though in case people want to.
You voting didn't kill it?
No, I mean all this chat. The link got lost.
No, I'm saying like if the creator votes, it doesn't end it. Like some weird.
Oh, it's because it's. I think it only counts as you as a creator if you create an account.
Okay.
But most of the people in chat agree with yes. Did you didn't vote, did you?
I didn't.
Yeah, so this is 7. This is a couple people who actually do agree. Yes, it should be in the game. The link is in the chat now. But Wology, I'm waiting for your comment thing.
I think we're gonna get a couple more no's in here.
Okay, wait. So here's the comment. Let's see. Because pros don't give up at 20 minutes in games like this, and honestly, I think most people just have awful judgment and don't know when a game is over or not. Some of my favorite Dota moments have been from insane comebacks or throws. I think people play Dota for the extreme high moments rather than some steady flow of happiness. I think a surrender vote would take away from this. I don't think so.
It can take away from it without the all 5 vote.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, like I said, there's 3 times this year where I actually want, like, out of like 2,000-3,000 games, where this is true. And then the 2,997 games, it's false. Where, like, we just played the game normal, someone tried to surrender, we said no. Or, like, maybe 20 of those games out of, like, 3,000, we surrendered because of disconnects, or everyone was dead and they're hitting the base. You know what I mean? Like, actual reasons to surrender. But this reason is what everyone keeps pointing at. It's like, oh, if there's surrender feature, like, you'll never get these insane comebacks. It's like, dude, that's not the reason we need the surrender. The reason we need the surrender is because, like, those really crazy situations where you just need to get out of the game because it's not only impossible to win, but they're holding you hostage, the enemy team. Or something like, you know, like, there's a few reasons why, like, you really do need the surrender option.
Yeah. I don't think there's any argument for that situation.
No, there's, like... I mean, even, like, the super, super, super rare situation where there's a bug and everyone gets disconnected, and the game is, like, I've had it happen once in League. I'm sure it's happened in Dota. Like, something's wrong with the server, and you can't get out of the game. You don't want to AFK and take a punishment. Even maybe you won't get a punishment, but you don't know. If the teams just surrender or something, like, the game will just end. Or I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like what about in those weird technical situations? Like, I feel,
yeah, there could be
I mean, like, you can't, like,
Agreed.
I've AFK'd a few times or, like, left the game and usually it's okay, but you don't, there's no 100% certainty. It's like, if I just surrender the game and let's say, you know, like, whatever, to get out of the game, there's less of a punishment if I surrender anyways. You know, AFK gives a bigger punishment anyways, so it's like, I don't want to risk that. So in that very, very rare situation, that's also another reason.
I feel like the hostage situation is huge.
No, the hostage situation is the biggest one, and then disconnect's probably second. I mean, especially in Dota 2, where hostage situations are way easier to come by than League. It's not that common in League. Like, for fountain farming, rather. Like, actual, like, the enemy team is holding a hostage. Eventually the game is going to end pretty quickly in League. If no one surrenders. But in Dota 2, it can linger on for 20-25 minutes still.
And another situation that you mentioned that is actually way more common is the duo griefing mid.
Oh,
Like,
that's
it's
very,
really not
yeah.
fun for the mid laner, right? He's trying to play, he can't play the game anymore because he's getting duo griefed.
I'm now certain you've had bad experience because of Smurf and getting some. No, I'm the Smurf. I don't know what you don't understand in League. Like, in League, I've had problems where there's 2 people duo queued on a new account and they grief to D rank. We'll all be like 80% win rate. Griefers are banned through the Overwatch system. Yeah, and the problem with the Overwatch system is not everyone is doing it every single day. I've done 0 cases of Overwatch on Dota 2. I remember when Overwatch came out in CSGO. I did 3 cases. I've never done any since. I think most people are the same way. They just want to play the game. The Overwatch system is not perfect. You're not required to do an Overwatch case before you play a game. If they required you... I mean, a lot of people would quit the game, because that's really weird, but there's no requirement to do Overwatch. You know, it's not something people do that often. I'm sure a couple people do. But that doesn't really... It doesn't solve the problems that we need. I still do some time... I'm waiting for someone. Okay, don't mean to sound rude, but I miss a lot of your rank up. I'm fairly certain you're Guardian. I'm not talking about Dota 2. I'm talking in League. where I'm saying the duo queue problem is solved. Or like the duo grief, that's when we want the actual surrender, because they want to D-rank. They want to surrender. We don't want to be held hostage for 25 minutes. If the same situation happened in Dota 2, we'd have to wait 50 minutes for the game to end, because they'd still be just goofing around. So if you don't want griefers in your game, you better solve some reports. Yeah. Okay, now you're bringing up a different issue, which is like good behaved players are not going to grief. You don't know if someone's having a bad day. How can I like that doesn't have to do with anything. You don't know the person. Like what? How does conversation jump from Dota 2 fount farming to League D ranking? Because we need surrender for both of those. It's the same. We need surrender in both.
He was talking about League for a while now, though. Like, I don't think you were keeping up with what he was saying, Wology.
Oh no, because I mentioned smurfing and like the duo Q smurf situation. Because it definitely like D-ranking happens in all games, so I think it's applicable to all games. You can put solo games only. Yeah, but that doesn't stop the D-rankers still. I think these dragging games recommon in low behavior score games. I mean, now we have the option to eliminate the griefers, so it's on us. Yeah, but think of it's like doing homework for a little reward. You don't really like if you can just skip it, you would, right? To pass the class. You don't need to do Overwatch to play the game. What's the point of D-ranker? Sorry, I don't know anything about League. It's in all games. There's tons of D-ranking. All games. Like in CSGO, there's a bunch of Silver 1 accounts that people D-rank to get. Because they sell them. Same in Dota, I'm sure it's like a 0 MMR account. You buy those. And people do that all the time. It's in all games. It's just something, people get bored and they're like, I want to see how far I can go from 0 MMR and see how high I can get. You know, like that's what they do. Either it's for content or just like a bored smurf. Overwatch is just a faster system than waiting for Valve. They are still checking. Doing a case makes things faster. Yeah, but the Overwatch system is not perfect. Not everyone does it, so it can't be like, you can't say it's like that good. The community runs Dota. The community runs all games. What, do you think bots run League of Legends? Like, it's the community. Like, it's just a big player base. The community runs all games. Like, do you think bots play CSGO? No. You think bots play, like, Valorant? No. Like, people are playing, like, those are humans. In the ranked. Like, it doesn't have to do anything with any community. Unless it's like a group of 500 people in one community. Yeah, then maybe. But, like, you can't speak for the whole community. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, bots do play CSGO. They do. You can add them to games. Same in Dota. But, like, you don't see like bots in ESEA or whatever where you can report people for hack, like in competitive where you report people for hacking. You don't see like bots in there. Dude, you don't know how Dota 2 works. How can you speak for the whole game though? I'm just saying Overwatch is not perfect. Not everyone does Overwatch. Do you do Overwatch multiple times a day every time you log in? No. You just play the game. I've never done one Overwatch case. Let's just see. Reward for doing Overwatch Dota 2. You get skins? Is there any reward for reviewing Overwatch cases? If being the judge during... I don't know what it is. Right, just wondering. Cheers. Yeah, there's no actual, like, in-game reward. So you can, you'd have to imagine some players are not going to do it. It's optional. They're not forcing people to do it. Yeah, so it can't be ruled as, like, the perfect way. Like, it can't be oh, Overwatch is in place, so we don't need the surrender option because it's gonna get rid of the griefers. Like it's not good enough. Correct me if I am wrong, but I feel like you're asking the surrender option because of the fountain farm situation. Fountain farm, griefers, disconnect so you don't have to wait 5 minutes. Like the server technical issues, which is super rare, and you probably almost never happens. But like, imagine if you're in game and like the servers go down for maintenance. It's happened a few times in League. But like, let's say you don't want to AFK or leave because you're afraid to get a punishment. Like you're not 100% sure on what's going on, and the surrender is like the safest way out because if for some reason you still get a loss, it's a less of a punishment than AFK. Like there's just multiple reasons to have the surrender feature. The main
the
one,
fountain
the
farm
main
one
one.
makes it like Dota needs it more than League.
I mean, the main
That's
reason
for
why
me.
to surrender is like the first game we played, like we got stomped super hard, and my whole team gave up. We were just kind of like waiting for the game to end, and we are getting fountain farmed, and all 5 of us wanted to go to the next game, but we had to wait 10. I think it was at least 10 minutes. Why are you linking Overwatch with surrender option? Because people are saying like the Overwatch takes care of griefers, so griefing is not a reason to have surrender.
There's a whole lot of like subjects being tied in with
No, but
this.
that's the main thing. It's like they're saying, because I said the 4 reasons, like griefers, fountain farming, like technical issues, blah blah blah. But they're saying griefers is not one of the reasons because the Overwatch takes care of that. I'm saying like it doesn't. It does a little bit, but it's not perfect. I think there needs to be region lock for ranked games. Yeah, no, I agree. That's different. Yeah, in Dota 2, another thing is so people can queue up for the US East server where we're at and be in like Japan and have like 500 ping. So you have
Isn't
a
that worse
500.
for them?
No, it's worse for you because you're not gonna win.
Oh, if they're on your team?
Yeah, imagine that. You have a 500 ping teammate in a mechanically like what's the point? You just instantly lost. That's a different subject, but I'm just saying like that would suck. Like in CS:GO, I hate it. I can just say for CS:GO, like if I'm playing and I have someone with 140 ping and I spectate him and he's like teleporting and he can't aim because he's teleporting, I don't want that on my team. Not necessarily. Okay, so Fountain Farm, this is so rare. No, it's not. If it happens in pro games, it happens more in casual or ranked games. Come on. If you see it more than like once in a pro game, you have to know it's common in the Dota 2 culture because the fountain doesn't instantly kill like it does in League. People can sit in the fountain. I've had it happen multiple times to me. I've been on the team where it happens. I can say from experience from 1,000 hours, it's at least happened like I don't know, at least 50 times.
Radiant's
Damn,
courier
you
has been
got fountain
killed.
farm 50 times?
No, I've like experienced it, like been on the team
Oh,
or like
okay.
been farmed. Like my team will just be so tanky they just sit in the fountain and take like a million hits. Here's my ultimate advice, dude. Put some hours into Dota. I have 1,000. Endure pain from stomp games and get good at Dota. Why would I do that? You can 1v9 on Dota. Dude, like these people are just so stubborn. They don't get
I
it.
just think they think we want the forfeit button. We just think the forfeit button would be best for everyone.
I mean, honestly, if you think the forfeit button shouldn't be in the game, you're just not a competitive player. It's like it's a quality of life feature. And if I mean, like, listen, the most competitive people in the game have the feature. So why can't it be in the actual game?
Also, these people are starting to talk about their own personal skill in Dota. I feel like you guys are that kind of shows how biased your opinion is. We're kind of trying to look at it from an objective point of view.
Just like quality of life for the game or whatever, like the whatever it's called. The competitive integrity of the game. It's like not having the feature makes it seem like they don't care. Like whatever, just sit through this whatever situation where you should be able to forfeit, but you can't. So you should, learn how to get fountain farmed. I'm gonna learn how to get fountain farmed so hard. Like you say it's not common. His very first game we got fountain farmed. Like sure, I played bad. I didn't know how to play IO at all. I've never played IO, and like we got fountain farmed. Like dude, it's common. It's common. If there's an opportunity to do it, they're gonna do it. That means you're facing a Smurf problem. No, we're playing a normal match. Dota learning curve is really high. It doesn't have anything to do with the... Well, if you played already 1k hours in Dota, it means you need to grasp how to play Dota. Okay, dude. I've played enough to know that I don't want to play.
Guys, I think the being good and the FF option is really different. If you guys are starting to put in player skill, I think that's way too off topic on the FF's conversation. We're not FF. We don't want to FF the game because we're not like.
But I
we're
think
being
like
bad and
also
getting stomped.
like in League, I mean you're definitely higher skill than me. Like you were, you know, top 0.24 or 0.24%. Diamond 1 is currently 0.24% top of League. And like how can you say the surrender option is important in League? Like it doesn't have to do with skill. You know what I mean?
Yes, it does not have to do the surrender option in League. The thing is, I never vote yes in any situation. I
Okay,
cannot.
he just said, yeah, FF is basic in all competitive games. Forfeit, Dota needs it. Yeah, there's too many like strange situations where you'd actually use it.
Yes, so the FF button, it's so necessary in League of Legends because you have times where
Wait,
the multiple
hold on.
counters.
I don't want
Okay.
forfeit button in pub or ranked. I want forfeit button in scrim. Why? What's the? I mean, like you would think that you wouldn't want it. Like in scrim, you would. I mean, you're gonna have more options. Like the admin's gonna be able to restart the game or restart the round or give money or whatever. But like, why would you not have it in normal ranked? That means normal ranked is like Dota's not a competitive game because they don't like what like I don't get it. What's the difference? I thought ranked is like super important. You know, that's like the whole. That's like for most people, that's all they play the game for. Ranked. You know what I mean? For most games, like the surrender is so important. To not like to say it's not important means like the game is. I don't know. It's like saying like the game is like not a competitive game. Like it doesn't matter.
So Wology, you need 5 votes to FFF 15. If you're like me and you don't want to FF ever, then you
No,
can
yeah,
vote
like
no.
okay, just to ask perspective, how about the FF15 issue? And like a lot of people just say like it's we were saying it earlier, it's mostly like a joke. Like if you watch Tyler 1, he says it like every game. And that's because he missed like one farm. You know what I mean? Like it's just like to be like, oh, I messed up. Haha, I'm being funny.
Radiant's courier
There's
has been
rarely like I don't think I've ever surrendered at 15 minutes unless people leave. No one actually says yes. No one actually wants to surrender at 15 minutes. It's so rare. It's just a joke. League's version of voice lines. What's the top 0.24 rank roll in LoL? Diamond 1. So after Diamond 1 there's Master, Grandmaster, and then Challenger. So I mean there's people out there who would call him trash. They'd just be like, yeah, he's not that good. Like, I don't want this guy on my team. What his main role? He plays in Dota terms. It would be position 5 and position 1. He likes those. Because my experience with League was literally that. Lots of people trying to FF and AFK and spam the FF button until it passes.
I think you're now starting to talk about the difference of League and Dota community. Don't people AFK and give up in Dota as well?
Yeah, there's actually top immortal player. I can't remember his name. I wish I could find it, but there's several clips of him where he like AFKs at level 1. He's like, okay, and then he logs off and goes on his Smurf or something. I don't remember his name. It's common in Dota 2 also. It's not. I mean, these are top players. Yeah, Cheesy, whatever his name is. I've seen the video. But he plays support I mean, he's a support main, but he says he plays ADC now.
I got to Diamond 1 as support and jungler, but I recently switched to ADC because it's more fun.
Out of all my years playing Dota, it only happens at like 0.5 where people just AFK and destroy an item. 1k hours means nothing. 1k hours is enough to like know about the game a little bit. I mean, come on, dude. The support. I mean, the forfeit button's needed. All right, I'm about to wrap this up.
This is insanely long stream.
No, this is getting too long. I need to eat. It's almost 1 in the morning, dude.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
All right, okay, guys.
When did we start?
Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this. I'm gonna edit a lot of this and be on YouTube. It's gonna be annoying to edit, but all right, I'm out. You can find Jacob, Yo-Yo the Yogurt, twitch.tv/Yo-Yo the Yogurt. That'll be on YouTube as well. See you guys.
I don't really stream.